What's happening, far, far away family? How's everybody doing today? It's Thanksgiving Eve, the night before Turkey Day, and the last episode of Andor came out, and that's what we're going to be talking about today because there was some spectacular things going on. And as you see, I'm solo today, so everybody in the chat, let me know if my vocals is doing good, if everything is cool. I just want to make sure that everything it sounds good and everything for the recording because I don't know. I ain't got nobody to run it against. So let me know in the comments. And we'll be doing it all by myself today, but we're going to get it done and we're going to have a fun time doing it. So without getting too far into the episode or anything like that, let's drop that intro. What's going on, Chris? What's going on, Clint? Hey, guys, do I sound okay? Because I ain't got nobody to run my mic against because, you know, CJ and Garrison couldn't make it tonight. They had, well, I guess Garrison's wife is sick. He had to take her to the hospital, and CJ is working, and he's out of town, so he wasn't able to make it tonight. So just me, but we still going to have fun. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to, because this episode of Andor was spectacular. I'm not going to rate it as high as I rated episode 11, just for the simple point that I don't know, it felt like it was lacking something. I don't know what it was, but it was a great episode, don't get me wrong. And there was a lot of Easter eggs, and there was a lot of things that happened in there, and a lot of stuff that they showed you that a lot of people I don't think might have caught. I watched it twice. I've already watched it twice, but it dropped some very good points, and it left us on the cliffhanger. I mean, it's not really a cliffhanger because we know what's going to happen. I mean, we've all seen, you know, Rogue One, so we know what's going to happen. But at the same time, it did leave us on kind of a cliffhanger because it's like, what was Luthen going to do? Was he going to shoot him? Or was he going to let him join the rebels? We know he's going to join the rebels because we've seen Rogue One. But if you were a new watcher, you would have been left at a really heightened moment of anticipation, waiting for season 2 so you could find out what happened. Anybody that's a true Star Wars fan, we already know. But there was a lot of things that broke it down in here, and there was a lot of things that I thought they did excellent in the storytelling. Some of the things I'm just going to point out real quick, and we'll go over them a little bit more. I think that Mothma is going to try to put the money missing on her husband. That's why she was accusing him of gambling. And he's swearing up and down he didn't gamble. And when he was saying it, I believed him. I did. I think she's going to use his gambling as a way to say where the money went. He stole the money in order to gamble. But at the same time, it's like, if that's what you're going to do, why are you bringing your daughter at the very end? Because, you know, we had the little cameo at the very end of the daughter meeting the little crime lord dude's son. And I thought that was kind of strange. Like, if you're going to blame it on this, then why are you still going through with this? Then, if you guys noticed what I did with the thumbnail, because there was a real point that they showed those cameras in there. So, or in Bix's little room, they took a big point in showing that at the beginning of the episode, and then when Andor goes in there to rescue her, they're gonna see that on the camera. That's getting recorded. So does this make Andor the Empire's most wanted? Is this something that is going to show Andor or is going to really get the Empire looking for Andor. I think that's something that we're going to see in season 2. Let me go back and read some of you guys' this is gonna take longer because I gotta go back and read. Clint says he wishes it was better. Chris says it felt like there should have been a big reveal, but it just felt like a normal episode. That is how I kind of took it too. I gotta be honest. I liked the episode. I mean, there was blasters. They were just shooting people. They blew that one dude off the stormtroopers back to one little dude that was working a little communications thing. That was just crazy. Like, you know, all the killing that was going on in the episode. I mean, they were just massacring them people. Them people didn't even have blasters, and they were just massacring them. And I really thought that it was very... I think that was probably the most closest R-rated that we have seen in all of the episodes. Like, should have been R-rated. They just was massacring people. But I guess it wouldn't be no different than the documentaries of, like, you know, World War II or something like that. That's on, you know, that's G-rated, and they show, you know, whole flocks of people getting killed. But it was, I don't know, he came out on in episode 11, it felt more like Star Wars. It gave you that Star Wars feel. This was lacking it again. I'm like, why would you digress back to the lack of Star Wars? I thought that's what Tony would push for that. If he did on 11, episode 12 was even going to be more. I mean, we got, like, you know, we got some stuff. You know, it wasn't that we didn't get nothing, you know, because we got let's see, what all? Let me look at my notes here. So we got the Rogue One, Death Troopers. What else did we get? That was also an Easter egg that I found, because that was something that they showed off. So we got the Rogue One, Death Troopers, because they were walking behind what's her face, the ISB chick supervisor Dedra. That was one of the things that, you know, was made a Star Wars feel. I was like, oh man, look at the Death Troopers, the Stormtroopers. But other than that, and, you know, one droid, other than that, it just really didn't have that Star Wars feeling. There was also I don't know, it was like I don't know, it just didn't give me that emotional feeling. And I thought that's what Tony would do. He would, like, come out with 11. The 11 sold Star Wars. It has so much more Star Wars to it. He would finish off on that on the end of the season, and that would be the big reveal. You know, that would have been the thing, like, because Star Wars was his big reveal. Like, most of the other episodes didn't have much. It was an alien here, a droid here, stormtrooper here. It was just little bitty stuff, but they never really felt like they were Star Wars episode. It felt like you was watching something that was just in the Star Wars universe, but it wasn't really Star Warsy. And 11 came out, and it felt way more Star Wars. Like, it just felt like you were watching something that was Star Wars, and then he digressed in this final episode, and I didn't get that. I thought that was going to be the big reveal. Also, I was kind of disappointed that we didn't get none of the rebels, or we didn't get like nothing else. You know, like I thought maybe Kanan would pop up, or Hera, or somebody. You know, just somebody, and he didn't do that at all, which was kind of weird. Maybe he's waiting for the end of episode 12, or, you know, or episode 24 of season, or episode 12 of season 2, which is actually the 24th episode. Maybe he'll do that. I don't know. I mean, it surprised me because I thought there was going to be something that happened, and there kind of wasn't nothing that really happened. So Chris says, if you were the Empire, I feel like you got to go ask yourself if Cassian is worth it, or is there a bigger fish to fry? I think the reason that it's so important for them to catch Cassian, because that's their link to Luthen. I think that's really why they're after it, and which they don't know Luthen has anything to do with it. I don't know. I just didn't get the process of what it, and I don't know what Tony got going on. I don't know if maybe the second season is just going to be all Star Warsy, and he just gave us enough in the first season to make you want to come back and watch the second season. I don't know what his process is. I know that he said that he didn't want it to be like so Star Warsy that it was like some of the other like Kenobi or Book of Boba Fett or Mandalorian, which has just got a lot of Star Wars, so they got to bring out like Luke and Ahsoka and all these different characters to have these big reveals, you know, to captivate the audience. And he didn't want to do that. He wanted the focus to be on the story. And I get that. And I'm not mad at him for that because it was a really good story. So far, it's a great story. I just didn't understand why. I mean, it could have been more. Or why did he drop so much in episode 11? Like, just made it feel so much like watching Star Wars and then digress back in this episode. It just kind of felt weird. Kind of threw you off. Like, okay, what's going on? What is it? You know, I guess in like every book, excuse me, I guess in every book or every, you know, story or every movie that you watch, there's highs and lows. You have where pacing is really up and then pacing flows down, but then it jumps back up. And that's in everything. You know, that's life in general. You have highs and lows. But like, why would you end on like a not as good an episode? Like, I would have left it at 11. I would have just left it right there. That was like the best episode of the whole season. And I would have left it there. This episode just didn't give you that same type of feeling. I was excited. I was jumping up and down when, you know what I'm saying, when they started shooting and firing, when old girl stabbed what's his face in the dude in the room. I was jumping up and down, kill him, you know what I'm saying? I was going nuts. Fuck him. You know. But at the same time, I thought it was, you know what I'm saying, it just didn't give me that same feeling as 11. 11 made me feel like I was watching New Hope for the first time again. It gave you that type of feeling. It wasn't too much. It was like a quick view. You know what I'm saying? It just gave you that excitement, that feeling of being a Star Wars fan. Like, oh my God, this is Star Wars. I'm watching new Star Wars. And I didn't get that in this episode. It was like, dude, episode 11 was way better than episode 12. And episode 12 is the season finale. You just got a bunch of people getting massacred by the Empire. We already know the Empire's jacked up. Every Star Wars fan on the planet knows that. The Empire's cruel as shit. They enslaved the Wookiees and the Twi'leks, and, you know, they did all kind of bad stuff. We know that. So why go about and like make the end of the season? We know that they're assholes. We know this. Come on. The Emperor is a Sith Lord. You know, the Sith are bad people. We know this. You don't have to go back and tell us over and over again that the Sith Lord or that the Empire is bad. We know that. So we don't really need to see that massacre. We need to see something, I think, that was more intense. Now getting Cassian, you know, getting Bix back in the fight, and when the kid threw the bomb and blew up the little thing and they started shooting everybody. I mean, it was all exciting and it was fun and it was interesting and the story was good. It just, I don't know, it just felt like it lacked something. It just didn't have that overall feeling. Chris says, not sure if it's just me, but I thought my Mothma story really didn't add much to the season as a whole. I don't think it did either. I know that we need it because we need to know what happens, like how Mon Mothma comes about and, you know, how she gets cast in the rebels, and, you know, we don't know that story. And I think that story is going to be told throughout the next part of it, and this was just a lead up to it. But, like, if you'd have took out all the Mon Mothma scenes, I think it would have made a difference. Like, it just really wasn't, nothing that had to do with Mon Mothma was really that exciting. It wasn't really nothing. But I know that they got to put it in there because we need to hear her story so we can figure out how, because she's part of the rebellion. I mean, at one point she becomes the head of the rebellion. So we kind of need to find out what her mixture with Andor comes together. And I'm guessing it's through Luthen. But at the same time, I don't know. It just seemed like it was just lacking. and I'm not putting it down. I love the episode. The episode was great. I mean, it just wasn't as good as 11. I would have stopped on 11. I really would have. Clint says, I thought it so as well about the rebels. You know, I really thought that they was going to bring the rep somebody. Like, I thought Mothma, like, honestly, and y'all know my opinion. You know, I thought that Mothma was going to be like, screw this dude. I'm not giving him my daughter. There's no way out of this. I got to get on the run. And she was going to do something, or Luthen was going to come in and do something. They had to, like a rebellion thing on Coruscant or something. That's where she had to get the hell out of there. You know, I really thought that was going to happen, especially her conviction when she told that dude to get out. Then when she was crying, like, I'm not going to let this happen. And then now it's like, dude, you're really going to give your daughter to this dude? Like, that just sucks. Like, you know this dude's a piece of shit. His son's a piece of shit. And you're going to give him to him? I mean, I have a feeling it's not going to come to that in season 2. I still think that somewhere down the road that there was a whole little, you know, breakdown. It's going to be a breakdown. And I know that that's going to have something to do with Mothma having to run from Coruscant. I just don't get the fact of, like, I completely agree with you, Chris. I just don't think that there's a point in, I mean, it's like, dude, y'all could have done way better with her part of the story. Like, made it more exciting, you know, like something. I think that is one of the things that was lacking in the entire season. Chris said, it's tough to even be excited for her story in season 2 when they didn't do much to establish her in the main story. That's true. I agree with you that. At least you got to find out what his manifesto was. Nemik. So we got to find out what Nemik's manifesto was. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just didn't seem like it was important, though. It just didn't make it seem important. Like, I don't know. There was nothing in this episode that just seemed like it was really that important. Like, okay, they sparked a rebellion. Cassian says, you know, he hears Maarva's speech, and he goes and checks, you know, and he goes and then he saves Bix. And I mean, like, I get all that, and it made for a great story. But it was just something that could have been left out. Like, dude, they could have just told us this happened, and and we would all be like, okay, it just showed us something better. I don't know. I was just disappointed. Like I said, I loved the episode. Don't get me wrong. I'm still rating it pretty high. And I loved the action, and I loved that the stormtroopers were just blasting people, and, you know, the bombs going off, and, you know, Cassian saving Bix and everything. But the setup was just so basic. It was just basic. They started off the episode right. The first thing they showed was the camera. So right there, now they got Cassian on camera saving Bix. You know that by the end of the story. They jump to Mothma. She's accusing her husband of gambling. You know, find out the dude can listen to him in the front of the car, and I think now he is an ISB spy. He's either an ISB spy or he's working for Luthen to keep track of what she's doing. But that kind of led up that she's going to blame him for the money being missing. If that comes down to it, she's going to blame it on her husband. She brought up Canto Bite, which was an Easter egg, you know, that came out. That was kind of a thing, you know, some of the things that happened. But it just didn't have a lot of pizzazz behind it. It was like, these are just things that we know kind of happened. You know, you didn't really show us or tell us anything. We kind of knew, you know, that these were things. And this is my thing. If Cassian's on camera, and which this kind of didn't make any sense. If Cassian's on camera saving Bix, the ISB knows about it, everything. In Rogue One, he's not going to just be in an alley with some guy on some planet and stormtroopers are everywhere. It's not going to be like that. So it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth when I was like putting 2 and 2 together as I'm watching the show. Because I'm like, there's not this doesn't add up. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they're going to be after him for reals. That means Luthen has to hide him. You know what I'm saying? He's not just going to be on streets doing spy shit. And you know what I'm saying? With stormtroopers everywhere. It's just, they're going to catch him. it just doesn't make a lot of sense. So now they're gonna have to tell us how he doesn't for the next season. The next season, they have to tell us how he's getting around and how he's good at hiding. I understand he can just do whatever because he's Cassian, but at the same time, there's like some things that didn't really happen. You know, do you think Cassian will convert the little trash can droid into K2SO? You know, I thought about that. Dude, that is so funny that you said that because I thought the same thing. Like, when he tells him, I will come back and all that little interaction and stuff, like, dude, it's like, I don't know. I just thought that, like, what if he just, like, transfers his, like, this little droid into a into K2SO? And then as the droid he's like two. You know what I'm saying? He's like a combination of the Imperial, or he like uses the memory bank or the programming, puts it into puts it into K2SO, and then has like and they kind of like intermingle together, because he's still like, I'm an Imperial droid. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll fuck you up. You know what I'm saying? Look at me, but at the same time, he kind of makes jokes and says stuff and kind of is a little timid and acts a little bit weird when he's a little droid. So like putting them together, I think that might be possible. And I thought that. And it's just real funny, Chris, that you thought the same thing. So Clint says he's going to be doing more rebel shit as he is posing as a trooper or an Imperial soldier. That might be a really good thing, because that would find out how we got K2SO if he's doing a little bit more of that stuff. Chris says, I feel like Rogue One K2 always said Cassian said, and this is like droids saying similar things. That's true. I don't know. I just got that same. I literally had that exact same thought process during this episode. I really did, and it was right when they kicked him over. I thought he was like done. You know what I'm saying? Like boom, oh, they done killed the little droid. You know what I'm saying? They done killed him. They gonna shoot him and kill him, and then he makes it out, and I'm like, but he can't charge now. He don't have no charger station with him. Remember, he has a little charger station in Cassian and what's her name, Maarva, however you say her name, in their house. He backs into that little thing, and that's where he charges at. So now he doesn't have that. So I was like, so there was several different things that kind of made me think that. But when they kicked him over, I thought he was like dead, and then then I was like, I wonder if he just like transfers his memory off into K2SO. I don't know, just something about Maarva. That's it. But there was a lot of little things that was in this episode that makes you just try. He did a good job in this episode of making you think about who, what's going to happen, to anticipate and to really cause you to think about what's going to happen in season 2. Yep, I get that. So Chris said, yeah, my guess is that the droid is slowly deteriorating and Cassian will need to upgrade his rig. Yeah, I think, I don't know. There was just several different times, but really when he kicked him over, that's what I was thinking. Then when I seen that he was still awake or that he was still alive, it's just like he couldn't roll no more. That's why the old dude was dragging him. Like this dude can't even roll no more. So that means if he can't roll no more, like they gonna have to transfer his programming or his brain or whatever, however you want to put it, into another thing. I do have a feeling that that's what's going to happen. So Clint says season 2 is going to be lit with all kinds of background rebel shots going on. I think we're going to see a lot more rebel. I think season 2 is going to ramp up a lot. Shit, not shot. I agree with you. I think season 2 is going to be a lot more Star Warsy. I think at first I thought that it was going to end Star Wars. I thought it was going to end with a lot of Star Wars stuff, and it really didn't. So I think season 2 is going to be a lot more. But it did. We did another thing that we did find out what them things that they were making in the prison, which I kind of appreciated. So that's what they were using them things is to hold all together the disc or the laser dish on the front of the Death Star. But as you've seen in there, we know this is coming kind of quickly. Like season 2 is going to happen fast. Like it's not going to be a long period of time. So they got to show us a lot in this time because they almost got the Death Star built. And we know in Rogue One that they tested. They were just testing it. So they literally got to go from almost being done to testing really, really quickly in season 2. So I think it's going to go really, really fast. It's going to be really fast paced. Even though it's 12 episodes, it's going to be a short period of time that this is all going on in. So I think it's going to be a lot more exciting. It's not that season 1 wasn't exciting because it was fun to learn all these things, but I think it was a lot slower paced because we were getting more familiar with the characters and they, what was going on within the Empire at this moment. Like the Empire done took over everything, and I think that this was really showing the separation that the separation from Empire from what was going on, the separation from what was going on in the Empire at this time period when Cassian first came into the thing. What y'all think about Maarva's speech? Like it wasn't as good as Luthen's speech in episode 11. Or was that the end of episode 11 or episode 10? Whenever Luthen's speech was good. But it made me want to attack the Empire. I see why they all just started attacking the Empire. It made you want to fight. To hear that lady say that shit, like, I would rather wake up in the morning and spend every last moment fighting the Empire. I really, I appreciated that. I appreciated her, what she said. Because really, that's the thing that really sparked the rebellion right there. That was like the true spark of the rebellion. When she said that, because that's what causes Cassian to do what he does. That's why he goes to Luthen and say, I want to join. That's what caused everybody to start fighting. That's what caused, a lot of stuff to start happening. And now, Ferrix is going to be, everybody there got to get the hell out of there because they attacked the Empire. All them people that was getting shocked and drug off, they're all going to that prison. You know what I'm saying? Hey, did y'all see the dude had the mask on that kind of looked like what's his face in A New Hope, the dude that was knocking on the doors with the stormtroopers looking for the droids? He had that same mask on. Did y'all catch that? Yeah. I was like, wow. He was like an alien. Because ain't them a species of people? It could have just been a gas mask that he on, but it really, really did look like that dude. I could just been mistaken. But I seen it twice, so I'm pretty sure I'm not mistaken. But it could have just been a mask that he was wearing because of what they do on Ferrix. But it looked like that to me. What else? So we know that the Empire is building the Death Star. The pieces that they were making was that. What else did we find out that was really interesting? Oh man, what's up with what's his face saving Dedra? Solon or whatever, Soren or whatever, however you say his damn name. He saved her. She was gonna stab him in the, or I don't. That thing was like a blunt object, but she was holding it up to his neck. Like, what? What are you gonna do with this? It looked like a cup. What are you gonna do with a cup on his neck? Like, that was kind of that was a little bit, I was just like, and she was like, I guess I should say thank you. He just saved your ass, Cyril. That's it. Thanks, Clint. You've been saving my ass the last couple of weeks with these names. My brain ain't working. That's the thing that sucks about having MS. My damn brain don't work. Um, yeah, Cyril, I don't know, like, what was that? Like a cup or, I don't know. It was like a blunt object, but she was holding it up to his neck like she was going to, like, what are you going to do? Cut his jugular vein with a cup? You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. It's like a grenade or a cup or something. Like, I don't know. It was round. It wasn't like a sharp object. But then she was like, I guess I should thank you. Like, I thought she was going to kiss him. I really did. I thought she was going to kiss him. But they was fucking. First, she got hit in the head with the rock. Then they were just trampling her ass and they was kicking her gun around. Oh, Chris said it looked like a drill bit, one of those things that you use to like cut holes, like the one you use to cut like holes for like doors. But it didn't look sharp at all. Like, why are you holding it up against his neck like you're about to cut him with it? It didn't look sharp. It just looked crazy. Clint says she sucks. Not my favorite person. I completely agree with you. I don't like her. I don't like the way she looks. Like I just looking at her, I want to punch her in the face. I don't know why. Clint said when she got hit with that rock was my favorite part. Yeah, it had a jagged edge, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I just was looking like, what are you going to do with that when I was watching it? But I do agree with that. That was one of my favorite parts. When she got smacked in the head, I was like, yeah. And then when they started trampling, I got more excited. I thought they was going to trample her to death. And then Cyril saves her. But then she's like not even grateful about it. She's like, I guess I should say thank you. Like, well, you bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, this dude just saved your ass. You would be dead. They was going to kill you. And he saved you. And he got your gun. So at least if everybody starts killing off all the Imperial soldiers there, he could get you out of there. And then what was up with his partner, man? His partner was just sitting there getting drunk. You know what I'm saying? He was like, whatever. I don't care about none of this. He just went and sat on the steps and got drunk. Like, what are you doing? He was mad because his alcohol was gone. Clint says, I can't stand her eyes. I don't know what it's. I don't know if it's her eyes or just. I don't know, man. I just want to punch her in the face for some reason. Like she just evil to me. Like just her attitude, her personality just makes her a very ugly person. And I don't like her. I don't like her at all. And I usually like the evil people. That's the people I like the most. You know, I'm 100% on the side of the Empire. I'm a Sith, but I don't like her. I don't like her. Hey, what did y'all think about the little thing when they were in the room? Oh man, my damn brain. The girls, my Mothma's cousin and the other girl, her girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? Like she acted like she was not happy that she was there. Like she was like, she had to tell her like, put down the binoculars and come over here, come away from the window. Yes. Wait. Yeah. Ahsoka will premiere before season 2, because season 2 don't come out. From my understanding, season 2 don't come out till 2024. I don't even think it has an actual release date. It just says 2024, which I don't get that neither. I don't understand Disney. Maybe this is something that will get fixed now that they Cinta. Yeah, that's it. Thanks, Clint. But hopefully that's something that they will fix. You know, now that, you know, Disney is going through a management change, because I like, who waits 2 years to come out with the second season? Who does that? Like, I just don't get that. You know, we're dealing with the Mandalorian. We're gonna have to deal with Andor. I don't get that. So now we're gonna get Ahsoka coming out, which I think is cool. You know, I want to see Ahsoka, but we got to understand. I have a feeling that Ahsoka's going to be more like Kenobi and Book of Boba Fett and Mandalorian. It's going to have more of that type of feeling, which I'm not upset with that. I like the Star Wars stuff when it's a lot of Star Warsy stuff. I mean, that's the whole point. We watch Star Wars. We love Star Wars. I think it's going to be a little bit more serious than Book of Boba Fett or Kenobi, but it's still going to be, it's going to be Ahsoka looking for Ezra and Thrawn. So I think we're going to kind of see, I think they're going to show us the first season, like basically the end of Rebels, what she does from that point forward, like how she's trying to find him and leads, and then how she meets the Mandalorian, and then like her little travels looking for Ezra. I think we're going to see a lot of that going on in the first in the first season, and I think the second season we might get more into stuff. At some point, she's going to find Ezra because they've already casted the guy to play Ezra. And, I mean, I think we'll see that maybe towards the end of the first season. And I have a feeling that we're gonna see Thrawn. I just don't get why Disney is going to, wait 2 years. I don't think I'm gonna have to look it up. We'll look it up. We'll look it up here in a minute. But I'm pretty sure that it doesn't come out till 2024. Which, I know it doesn't come out till 2024. I don't think that they have a release date, though, like an actual month in 2024 that is coming out. Lenny, what's up? Oh, no, it's all right. So just to give you some feedback, what'd you think about the Andor episode? What was your take? How'd you feel about it? I'm not going to say I was disappointed. I just didn't think it was the best episode to be the season finale. That's kind of where I'm at. Chris and Clint is about the same position. If you go back and read over the chat, you'll kind of see we all like it wasn't. I'm not saying that it was a bad episode by any means. I mean, the story was good. What happened was cool. It just wasn't as good as episode 11. I think they should have ended with episode 11. Honestly, I think that's where they should have ended. If they would have ended episode 11 and then showed us what they was making the parts of the Death Star, I would have been happy. I would have been perfectly happy. Oh, and Lenny, CJ had to work, and Garrison had to take his wife to the emergency room, so that's why they're not on the show. It's just me. It's all me. Oh, that's another thing. Saturday, I don't know if we're going to have a Saturday show. I'll have to talk to Garrison and CJ about it, because Saturday I have to work in the morning. So if we do, it'll be an afternoon show, because I have to work in the morning. Whenever I work for the city, so when we take a day off, we have to make it up on Saturday. Everybody has to work, so I have to work this Saturday. So either they're gonna run the show by themselves, or we'll have it later in the day, or we might do it Sunday. But happy Thanksgiving, Chris. Hope you and your family have a great day tomorrow. Nah, everything is cool. Which is, he had to take his wife to the emergency room. So I hope she's all right. But there's this, and then CJ, he just had to work. He's doing a lot of out of town stuff, so it just kind of sucked that you had two things happen, with both of them, which I don't mind doing the show by myself. I've done many of podcasts by myself, and I'm not really by myself. I got you guys, I just interact with you. But Lenny, what did you think about the show? What did you think about Andor? This last episode. Hey Chris, before you jump off, if you haven't jumped off already, put in the chat what you rated it. Everybody else, put in the Clint, Lenny, put in the chat what you guys rate this episode. I'm gonna guess Clint, you're gonna give. I'm gonna say 8.5. Lenny, I'm gonna say a 7. Let me see how right I am. If I'm completely wrong, y'all gonna make me feel bad. Nah, not really. I ain't gonna feel bad. But yeah, I don't know. I liked it, but I didn't like it. Yep, 8.5. That's what I said, Clint. You always rated high. Lenny, what you got? Because I'm rating it, I'm giving it a 7.5. 7.5, it might even be a 7. Nah, I'll say 7.5 because the action and everything was good. I really enjoyed the action and the story was well played out. It was a good story. I liked that he saved Bix. I liked all the things that happened in the episode. I just think it was kind of like, I don't know. You can't have episode 11 be that good and then come out with this episode and be like, it just didn't feel like Star Wars to me. It just wasn't Star Wars feeling, which I know that's kind of how Tony was going for, but at the same time, it's the season finale. You got to throw some Star Wars shit in there. You got to. Then he says, LOL, yeah, I'm here. LOL, dude, this episode was great climation of everything, and he came back for Bix. I thought, but I'm around an 8 just because it didn't feel like a cliffhanger. And we talked about that a little bit earlier. It left it at a cliffhanger if you're not a Star Wars fan. Like, if this is the first time, this is your first experience as for Star Wars, you're going to sit there and like, is Luthen going to shoot him? But if you've watched Rogue One and you've watched, all the Star, I mean, that he joins the rebellion. So it all just boils down to kind of, I think Tony was going for the new watcher on this episode. Somebody that's new to watching Star Wars. They might have seen, the movies, but they haven't really got too much in, or some of the movies like just the Skywalker saga, but they didn't really watch, Rogue One or something like that. I don't know how. I don't even know. I really don't know how to explain that. But that's the kind of the feeling that I got. Like, if you didn't know about Rogue One and you didn't know that Cassian was going to join the rebellion and all that stuff, and you seen him in Rogue One, and they left you right there, it's a cliffhanger. Like, is this guy going to shoot him? What is he going to do? He just smiles and then it just cuts off. Like, what's going to happen? But if you're a true Star Wars fan, you know what's going to happen. So it wasn't that big of a cliffhanger. But it was kind of, I guess it was a little bit of a cliffhanger too, because Cassian's joining a rebellion. Something that the whole first season was based on is Cassian going to join the rebellion, or how he joins the rebellion. What sends him to the edge of getting to the rebellion, and I'm pretty sure Maarva's speech was what sent him over the edge. But at the same time, you kind of want to know how he hooks back up with, Bix and everybody and B2MO. You kind of want to know all that stuff. So, but it wasn't like, it didn't feel like it was cliffhanger, yes, but it wasn't really at the same time. It was kind of in between. The story was good. The action, Clint says, the story was good. The action was good. The cliffhanger was good, but it was lacking. He's going to join the rebellion and move to the front, and we get to see why and how. The moment the dude gave Cassian the message, his mom had me tearing up. Yeah, that was a good point too. That was a good point. That was a really good part. I mean, like I said, it had a lot of good parts, but it wasn't Star Warsy enough. I mean, we had the Death Troopers. That was kind of cool. We had stormtroopers just shooting people. We had the Empire kind of doing a thing, but it was still lacking. There was one droid. There was no real aliens. There just wasn't a whole lot of just stuff that made it feel like it was Star Wars. Just throwing some stormtroopers and blasters and, that doesn't make it Star Wars. Hey, Luthen's bike, y'all can't tell me his bike was dope. The way it looked, that was a dope little hover motorcycle thing, whatever they're called. That was dope. I like that. I was like, dude, and he was floating. Yeah, I got that too. So Lenny said it felt like the story had a bit more to tell before the episode ended. And then Clint says that dude was the bomb. And we got to see him making it, which was pretty cool, but not Star Wars. It just didn't give me like last episode 11. Like really, it was like, dude, it was so exciting. It was like Star Wars stuff going on, space battles, and you know, you had new aliens, and you just had a whole bunch of stuff going on, and it was really really cool. And then they just didn't like. They just didn't like. It just didn't. I don't know. It just kind of just felt. This episode just felt like it just didn't have that give you that same feeling it did 11 gave you. Yeah, that. So Lenny says, I out of all the speeder bikes, I like that one the best. Yeah, me too. That was dope. It was all chromed out, and it looked like it had like a suction feature on the front, and then it was just the way that it was shaped, kind of like a missile, kind of, or something. Like I don't know. Like I don't know. I just liked it. It was dope. I liked it a lot. But yeah, that had to be probably one of the like. You know, that was a good part. Seeing the Death Star, that was a good part. Kind of seeing how Mothma accuses her husband because she's going to, you know what I'm saying? I think that's what she's going to push off on how the money came up missing because she's really not going to let her daughter go through that. So I think that scene with her daughter meeting the dude is kind of unimportant because she's not going to let her daughter go with this dude. And I think that her husband being gambling problem is going to show where the money went missing at, or it's going to have something to do with that. And then they figure out that it wasn't that. And then that's where she runs to the rebellion or runs to the rebels. Like I said, there was just a lot of little things, but it just wasn't, I don't know. It just felt like it was lacking something. And to me, it was lacking the Star Wars thing. Clint said, kind of hope Mando finds it down the road. That's what Lenny said. Clint says, I think her daughter is good with the TBH. Yeah. She looks like she's happy about it, but like knowing, like my Mothma knows that this dude is like ruthless and he's a damn loan shark. You know, he made all his money off the loan shark. You know, being a loan shark and a scoundrel, so she don't want it to happen. I don't think the husband really gives a shit. I don't know. He just seems like he just don't give a shit about much. Let's see. We talked about some of the Easter eggs that was in this episode, like the deaf troopers walking behind Deidre. My Mothma name drops Canto Bite. That was one of the Easter eggs that I caught. Maarva's and holographic message is a massive Star Wars egg drop. Like it was a call to action, and it was brought up to Luke Skywalker himself, and it precedes the hollows being used in inciting revolution. It was the tragic of Saw Gerrera on Onderon during the Clone Wars, and it was fascinating to see again. Luthen's ship, the founder, has a cloaking device, has cloaking capabilities because he said we need to cloak to get out of here. I thought that was kind of cool. That's something that only other person that we know that had a cloaked ship in Star Wars so far is Maul. Maul's ship had a cloaking device on it. So we know about cloaking devices, but there just hasn't had anybody else there hasn't been anybody else that announced that they had, or it's been talked about that they had a cloaking device. And then we see that in the post credits, they reveal the Death Star and how the pieces are going to fit that round part. That's why they had so many different shapes, because they're putting together to make it round, to make the dish round, the firing dish. Clint says, "So what are the daughters of Ferrix really? Just some random people, I guess." Well, the way that they explained it to Deidre when she comes up, it's like a social group. So I'm gonna have to do more research on it, and that was something I was asking myself too. Like I have to figure out like who are the daughters of Ferrix, like what were they? Because she was Maarva was the president at one time, because that dude tells Deidre that one guy that old girl stabs. Um, so, but I gotta do a little bit more research because I didn't have time today to research because that was a question that I had. Lenny says, "LOL theory. I bet the husband gets in trouble with the government and ends up going to jail for gambling, which angers the daughter. She runs off with the banker's loan shark guy, and my Mothma doesn't. And my Mothma doesn't join the rebels. Well, we know she joins the rebels. I think that all that happens, and then that's what causes her to go join the rebels. Not until next season. Yeah, that could be like something that could be brought out. Did Luthen have? So Clint said, did Luthen have a lightsaber in the last episode when that dude searched him before talking with Saul? Was that a lightsaber? I don't know. I'm gonna have to go back and watch it again. Now I don't think. Now I don't know. It was a cylinder thing, but I don't know if it was a lightsaber. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch it again. Lenny says probably the government of Ferrix established before the Empire. Yeah, something like. Well, he says it's a social group, so I don't know. Like I don't know if they were just like a like how they have like book reading clubs and shit like that. Like we have Star Wars clubs, because I don't know of anything that's that pushes the fact of you know what exactly it was. So got a couple things for news and rumors that I think we should go over right quick. Star Wars and Secret Labs teams up for a high quality gaming chair, and these gaming chairs is dope. You got a red one and a black one here. I'll pull it up on the split on the share screen so y'all can see them. So they have these high quality chairs, and the design of them, and they have the little Empire logo on them. I don't know. I think it's kind of cool. I like them. I like them a lot. What you guys? Do you guys like those? I don't know. I'd get one. I mean, it's kind of like this chair, but it's way better because it got the Empire logo on them. I like the Empire logo. Um, let's see what else did I have for news today. Gentle Giant LTD got this giant mall statue that you can get. No, I'm not gonna say it's giant. It's like, let's see, it's like a $40 statue, and I mean it's kind of cool. Then you have the punching bag. They have a punching bag, Mandalorian, and Grogu, which I don't know why anybody would want to punch Grogu. Yeah, Lenny, they are probably gonna be expensive. I don't think you can post pictures on here. Uh, Before we get off here, I'll look it up. And you got the Linux. Oh, come on, shut up, thing. Heroes and villains got a backpack. It's a Mandalorian backpack. It's pretty dope. Actually, why am I even doing all this? Why don't I just put it on the screen and let y'all see what I'm talking about? There we go. So they got this backpack, hero and villains backpack. I don't know. I kind of like that. I don't know what the hell the purpose is. Is that a baby chewing ring? You know, hey J Dog, what's going on, man? They got the Lokia. I don't know what is this thing. What is it? Go thing. Oh, it's a bracelet. Tell me, it don't kind of look like a baby teething ring. You know, teething ball thingies that kids chew on. There's Nintendo got a Star Wars Heritage Pack. It's 50% off. The collection of compromised 5 legacy Star Wars tile, including Star Wars Republic Commando, Star Wars Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy, Star Wars Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, Star Wars Episode 1, Racer, and Star Wars The Force Unleashed. Weren't they just giving all that stuff away for free not too long ago? What is this? Signature wall art and print sale. I would get that. The comfy. They make them in grown up sizes. I want one of those. The cozy. With Mando and Grogu on it. That thing looks like it's warm. Oh, that's all fur inlined. Oh, yeah. Tell me y'all wouldn't wear that. Yeah, that is many years of dealing with babies and grandbabies. Oh, I want the Funko Pop. I want the Funko Pop Vader. That one looks dope too. Why does it kind of look like the Stewie one? The Stewie Vader. Look at it. It kind of looks like the Stewie Vader from Family Guy. And then Shop Disney has all of these at 40% off for Black Friday through Cyber Monday. Yep, that's cool. Lego. Oh shit, they got Lego R2D2 for 40% off. Yeah, but when it costs $8,000 to begin with, 40% off ain't that much. Why was I looking at them? My wife didn't believe me when I told her that they have like $30,000 freaking Lego sets. And she's like, no, they don't. And I'm like showing her to her, and I like looked it up on Amazon. She was like, holy shit, these things is really $10,000. I said, babe, I'm telling you, some damn Legos is expensive. Star Wars Legos are a lot. You got the Ludge Fly. Now, I like that watch. That'll be something that I get. From November 25th to the 28th, this deal includes 15%. There's stunning Star Wars collab watches. Dude, that shit is dope. And the lightsabers are the hands, but Citizens are expensive. I wonder how much this is. Let's look it up. Let's look at it right quick. How much is it? I agree, whatever. So you got the Darth Maul face. Shut up. That's European, though. What's that in dollars? Because ain't European money worth more than ours? Front of Darth Vader's chest plate, or I don't know what that is. Oh, yeah, it says Darth Vader. R2D2. C3PO. Why do you look so angry? Tell me that C3PO don't look angry as shit. Yeah, too effing expensive. I definitely agree with that. I have the Vader Goblet Cup. I only take it out when I'm feeling down. Yeah, I have a bunch of coffee cups and stuff up here and stuff that people's given me over the years. I I think I got Vader. I got Mando. I got another Vader cup. I got Yoda, and then I have Boba Fett. And they're still in the packages. I've never even used them. I got like one, like I'm like, I don't know if it's just me. Do you guys do the same thing? Do you guys like only have one coffee cup that you use every day? I got like one coffee cup. It's my big. Y'all seen this? The big mug, and it has the has Mando on the front of it. It's like a sticker though, and it says "This is the way" on it. Like I'm always using it when I'm on a podcast on Saturdays. I like this one the best, but that's a lot of money. The Yoda one, that one's kind of cool, but the Mando one's kind of cool too. And that just like I, all it has is a little bitty Millennium Falcon right there. Like that's just there ain't much to that. There goes one with a bigger one. So what did they say off 20%? 20% ain't enough. That's like the taxes and 10 more percent. But this is all European money. I don't know why it's in European. Like what's the American prices? Like did they have a thing on here? I don't know. And then let's see what else did we have. Oops. Well, and then so that's it for the gifts for Black Friday gifts. And then I thought I had something else. Oh, what do y'all think about Bob Iger coming back? You guys, y'all think Bob Iger coming back? You think he's gonna fire Kathleen Kennedy? Because that's what this comic book thing says. It says Star Wars. What does Bob Iger return mean for Lucasfilm and Kathleen Kennedy? You think he's gonna fire Kathleen Kennedy? I wonder what the hell like the deal was that George Lucas made with Kathleen Kennedy being the president of the company. Because after the first 3 movies, I'd have fired her ass. Like y'all just messed up like the whole Star Wars, and then y'all turn around and y'all keep her. And then, which I can't say she's being completely bad. I wasn't a big fan of Book of Boba Fett. Obi-Wan Kenobi was all right. It wasn't the best. Mando is great. Well, Mando was great, so I mean she did some good there, and now with this is a good show, and she has to sign off on all this stuff. So I think she's like 50%. Think Bob Iger keeps her, or do you think that they just go ahead on and let her go, or is it in contract that she has to be there for like 20 years or some shit? Is that like under the contract that George Lucas had for selling the Lucasfilms to Disney? I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on, but I'm happy to see because this other dude, like, y'all go read some of the articles on why Bob Iger is coming back, because Bob Chippick or however you say his name, this dude, they had like the lowest like recorded history ever for like for Disney. Like the last quarter or the third quarter was just terrible. And this dude said, we're gonna fire a bunch of people and we're gonna do it. That's how we're gonna recoup the company's money. And they literally fired that dude and brought back Bob Iger. They was like, you what? Lenny said, let's see. Yeah, Lenny said 3PO finally gets angry. Then he said, I also have a Mando helmet cup that I use for work almost every day. Is it like metal? Because if you got a metal one, I want to find that. I'll use that for work. Like the coffee cups that I usually use, I like the cups with the lid, the metal cups. They keep your coffee hot longer. J Dog said 50% ain't good enough. Yeah, them watches are 50%. Shit, I don't even think it was 50%. I think it said 20%. 50%, half off. That's still $100 something for a watch. I can't type. Clint says I can't type as fast to answer everything. No, it's ceramic. Yeah, see, that's all my cups up here, ceramic. I don't ever use ceramic cups. I don't know. I just don't ever. I like metal cups. They just keep your coffee warm longer. Like literally, I can set my coffee in here and drink it for like, I'll get up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, come in here, start working on a website or, working on a podcast or whatever I'm doing. And I'll set that thing down. And at like 1 o'clock, my coffee is still warm. Because the one thing I hate most, and I guess it's just I'm old, but I do not like cold coffee. Like cold coffee is just disgusting to me. It has to be warm or hot. I like it really hot. Like I take the coffee after it comes out the coffee pot. Before I pour it in my cup, I put it in a microwave for like 30 minutes and get it really, really hot. I like my coffee really, but kind of to put effect, I put milk in my coffee. I'm from the old school. I pour some old school vitamin D milk in the coffee, a little bit of sugar, and then that's how I drink my coffee. So the milk cools it off. But if I just take it off the coffee pot and then pour the cup and pour the milk in there, it's too cold for me. I want it hotter than that. I want it warmer than that. It's too cold for me because I do like half and half. But I'm using milk, not half and half. But I do like half milk, half coffee. So I am going to give you guys my prediction of what I think is going to happen in season 2, or at least the first episode of season 2. And y'all tell me what y'all think it is, and then we'll finish this episode with my prediction, and then we'll go back after the first episode of season 2 if I remember. I probably won't remember, but we'll go back. Somebody remind me. We'll go back and we'll look and see if my prediction is right. So I think in season 2, what we're going to see is, I think it's going to have more to do with Mothma and what happens between her and her husband, accusing the husband. We're going to find a whole bunch of HoloNet news about Cassian being the most wanted person by the Empire. I think we're going to see Luthen introducing. Nah, I don't know if that's going to happen in episode 1. I kind of think that Luthen's going to introduce Cassian to Saw Gerrera, but I think that's going to happen later on down the road. I think we're going to see Cassian go and meet up with Bix and them, and I think that we might see, and I'm hopefully this is right. I don't know if it'll happen in episode 1, but I have a feeling that they're going to put the B2MO's consciousness or his program or whatever into K2SO droid. I don't know if that's going to happen in episode 1. I think that might be a little bit further down the season, but it would be cool to see it in episode 1. I would like to see it in episode 1. So Lenny says, LOL, during the day I don't have time, so I have to chug it most of the time, and I can't chug hot coffee. Yeah, I can't chug it. I just sip my coffee, but that's another thing. You can be sipping it for a long period of time, which I'm not even supposed to drink coffee. I'm not supposed to drink, like I got a Pepsi right now. I'm not supposed to drink this. I'm not supposed to have coffee. I'm not supposed to drink milk. Dude, like having MS sucks because you're not supposed to do a whole bunch of shit. Like I can't do nothing. I'm not supposed to have anything. Basically, you can't eat anything that causes inflammation because it makes things worse. So like if I eat like a bunch of fatty foods, or drink a bunch of pop, or drink a bunch of coffee, or stuff with a lot of sugar, because sugar causes inflammation. And fat causes inflammation, bread causes inflammation, everything causes inflammation. But if I eat a whole lot of stuff, I'll start hurting real bad, like really, really hurting. And it sucks. So, let's see. Was there anything else that I wanted to talk about on this episode? Oh, so wait a minute. We was going to look up let me look it up right quick. Let me see if I can find it. Was Let's see if we can find a picture of it. Okay, I can't see him. Let's see, episode 11. I'm not seeing a picture. I don't know, I can't find a picture of it. What was the metal rod that Luthen had in episode 11? Here. I'm just gonna invite all y'all to the thing. I'm gonna put it in the chat. So, who said they had a picture of it? Was it Lenny or was it Clint? I can't remember. But I'm putting the thing in the chat. So y'all can just go, that's the StreamYard link. Just go on the StreamYard link and then just click on so we can see the picture of it. Because that's the only way I can figure out a way to get the picture on there. Y'all just going to have to join the chat and show the picture. Because I don't know another way of showing a picture. There isn't no real way to show a picture on this program, I don't think. Because it doesn't give you a place where you can like, let me see. It don't really, it just says post a comment. So Clint, just join the chat, right? Or just join the episode. Just click off and then, yeah. And then just click on the chat. It should be able to, or copy and paste it. I don't know how you have to do it. Or send me your email address and I'll send you the link. And then that way you can email it to me or something, I guess. I don't know. We'll figure it out because I want to look at it now. Because I want to know, was it a lightsaber? Because I could see him having a lightsaber. I really could see him having a lightsaber. Because Luthen he got all that other shit in there. Why wouldn't he have a lightsaber? In that shop, he got all kind of shit. They even got Mandalorian shit that I just noticed in episode 11 that I didn't notice until like the third time I watched it. I was like, hey man, that's a Mandalorian chest plate over there. And I hadn't noticed it before. So, here we go. All right, Lenny. Okay, do you have a share option on your screen? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, something happened with Lenny. It says device not connected. Because he should have a share option on there. If anything, if you want, you can, Lenny, you can just email it to me at sway.audio@gmail.com, and then I can post it up on there because I want to see it too. If you can't get your phone to work. Because I want to see what it says. Okay, here we got them on.
Mike. There we go.
Okay, but we can't see you. Click on the...
oh, if you want to see me, yeah, okay.
All right. So, you said you had a picture of it?
Oh, I don't. I think Clint did.
Oh, Clint did? Oh, okay. Clint, are you coming on the show or you can send it to me in the email? Everybody just come on the show. I don't care.
That'd be the way to do it, right? Oh my God, why is this so weird?
I can't find one. It's not showing me the image of that. It's showing me all kind of different images. Like,
okay.
I can't find the.
Okay. I think that might be better.
I can see you better.
Oh no, I was trying to turn up the volume.
Oh, yeah. If you don't have earphones, then it's hard to hear. Is it just hard to hear me? Is it
Yeah,
better?
basically it's hard to hear you now, but no, then I have to run all the way inside for it.
Why is it not showing me?
Are you trying to share the screen or?
No, I'm trying to find a picture.
Oh,
I'm trying to find a picture of the thing. I guess I should just. I guess I can put that in. Probably somebody don't post it. Okay, he has a Jedi mask. He has a Jedi holocron. We've seen all them pictures. I want to see the picture of him. Is he holding a? I don't know. I just don't see Luthen being a Jedi, and then, um, uh, why can't I find this damn picture? I just don't see Luthen being a Jedi and having a shop in the middle of Coruscant. Like somebody would have figured out who he was, and they'd have been killed him. They'd have sent in the Inquisitors after him.
well, no, you'd be exactly right, because if it was a Padawan that had grown older, it wouldn't be to, well, maybe it would be. Order 66 was how far back?
And that was only like 20 years ago. It wasn't even 20 years ago.
Yeah,
Because this happens in between the time of Revenge of the Sith. I mean,
yeah, and he looks older
Revenge of
than
the
Kanan.
Jedi. Yeah, Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. So and he couldn't have been a Padawan. He's too old.
Yeah,
So he had to be a Jedi. And even if
I mean, it would make sense. Think about all the lightsabers that were destroyed at the time.
okay, here go the
I
picture. I
mean, the
found the picture.
technology was out there to take.
Okay, I found the picture. Let me see. Let me pull shit up here. We can see it good. So everybody can see it. Let me move it over here. Share screen. Where's the share screen? Okay, let me see if I can make this bigger. I mean, I guess it could be a lightsaber, but they don't really show us like a button or anything. It looks more like a club, like that's the handle of the club right there. Like, you know, one of them knot clubs.
Oh, okay.
You see, you know, them things that got the handle on, like the little billy clubs?
Yeah.
Because you don't see any, like,
Well, what
buttons
if
or
it's a
anything on it, but
miniaturized like electro staff?
yeah, it could, like, I don't know, it could be a lightsaber if the button is on the other side of it. But the way that they got it facing, you don't see no buttons or no electronics on there.
Yeah.
Look close to the top. Go get
I
low.
mean, which side would be the top?
You would think that this side would be the top. Well, I don't know, kind of like you can't really tell. Is that like part of his shirt right there? Like where I got the little mouse thing. Can y'all see the little mouse thing on there? like the little hand going
Yeah.
around. Can y'all see that? Because like right there, that could be part of his shirt. It might be a button. If this is the top, you think this would be the handle, the wood part. But that doesn't necessarily mean that he's a Jedi. You know, I mean, it might not. He could have just got a lightsaber from somewhere. You got to figure that they killed all the Jedi's. You got all kind of other Jedi artifacts in there. He got the holocron. He got the mask of the
Yeah.
temple guard. You know, he has a lot of Sith and Jedi artifacts in there. So I mean, he could have just got a hold of a lightsaber. It doesn't necessarily mean that he's a Jedi, though. It could be though. He could be a Jedi, and he just, you know, I was reading some stuff about Dexter Jester and or Dex, and he was after Order 66 and the whole Jedi purge happened, he was still helping out some of the Jedi's that was on Coruscant in the lower levels of Coruscant. So I mean, I guess he could have been one of the people, but it's just for him to be out in the open like that, the way he is.
So, well, I have another thought about that. Luthen knows everybody, right? He just knows everybody. So, wouldn't it make sense that he would have contacts that are Jedi or escaped Jedi, and that's where he's getting all of his artifacts from?
I mean, it's possible. I don't know. I think it's kind of hard to say. I mean, he could be a Jedi. He could be a fallen Jedi. Shit, the way he was talking, he could have been a Sith in that speech. Maybe he was a Jedi that
Yeah,
turned to the
probably.
dark side. He said, "Screw all this damn philosophy shit. We got to get real." You know, the Sith took over the thing. Maybe we got to start acting like them in order to take over to take it back.
Oh, makes
I
sense.
mean, I don't think that he's a Jedi just because they haven't shown any type of Force abilities. They haven't shown anything that would make you think that he was a Jedi. Yeah, red blades do come from the ship. I think he just has technology. I just think he got. That's true too. You know, Clint says he got red blades coming from his ship. He knows everything and everybody like Palpatine. I mean, it's possible, but I don't know. I think he's a really cunning person, and he knows what it's gonna take to overcome the Empire, and I think he's just a collector of artifacts, and I mean, it might be a lightsaber, but it might be I think it's just a artifact that he got and he just carries it because if he has to use it, he can. I mean, you don't have to know how to use the Force to know how to sword fight. I mean, you don't. It's not like the Jedi and the Sith are the only people in the galaxy that can use a sword.
Well, yeah, it's like it's not the dark saber. It wouldn't create some sort of heavy gravity field every time he tries to fight with it or anything like that. It would just be a regular lightsaber.
So I mean, it's a possibility. It could be a lot of different things. You know, I mean, I think he just because I don't think he's a Sith just because why would he even be caring whether or not you know what I'm saying the shit.
Well, like he cares too much about other people.
Yeah, that's just not a Sith trait. Jedi trait. You know, he doesn't have Jedi traits unless he just kind of went rogue with the Jedi philosophy because he was like, dude, there ain't no Jedi's no more now. So you know, everybody feeding for themselves, and if we gonna conquer the Empire, we gotta think like the Empire. Um, I mean, it's possible because for him to have a lightsaber and to have the Temple Guard mask, I mean, maybe he was an old Temple Guard.
I mean, that's all those artifacts had to be raided in the first place after the fall of the temple.
I mean, and most of them was destroyed by the Empire. They destroyed most of the Jedi artifacts and stuff that had to do with the Jedi because Palpatine's whole thing was to wipe the Jedi from history. He didn't even want
Yeah.
people to know that there used to be Jedi. So I
Well,
mean,
and like
he'd have to get the artifacts from somewhere.
Yeah. Well, think about all the troopers that were in there at the same time. They were probably like, you know what? We're pretty much done after this. Why don't we just grab some stuff on the way out?
Yeah, Clint brings up a good point. He locked on and destroyed 1 out of 3 TIE fighters while dodging the others. I mean, but that doesn't necessarily. You could just be a good pilot.
Yeah.
Look at what Hera does. I mean, Hera's dope in a Wedge. Wedge is dope, and they're not Jedi. They just good pilots. I mean, you gotta even think even in New Hope, like what he practiced with a lightsaber 3 times. He At that point, Luke didn't know anything about the Force really, other than the stuff that Obi-Wan used the Force. Luke, so I mean, he was going off of actual skills. He wasn't using the Force at that time. He didn't know how to use the Force at that time. So I mean, just he mostly trusted in instinct, and I think the Force helped him out a little bit when he blew up the Death Star. But when he was out there flying in battle and shooting at stuff, I don't know. I mean, I guess at some point we'll find out who Luthen is, but right now I think he's just like a really good spy dude. Like he's like the James Bond of Star Wars right now. He got all the cool ass gadgets, and his ship is dope as shit. And then, what I'm saying, he just run around spying and getting information and buying information and doing whatever he has to get the rebellion started, because he knows that it has to happen, that the Empire has to be destroyed. It has to stop.
I mean, and then he's been doing it since day one, so he's had the time to accumulate everything that he needs in order to
And
get
he
to
kind of
this
had a
point.
lot of those artifacts, for all we know, before the Empire ever took over. We don't know how long he's had that
True.
shop for. We don't really know too much about his background. They haven't gave a whole lot of information on him as his character. We just know that he has something to do with the rebellion. Um, Clint says best Star Wars ship in. Let's argue. I agree with you. That's the dopest shit I ever seen.
It is. It is pretty awesome. Yeah.
There ain't no argument when it comes to that. What's going on, Star Wars team leader? Man, you've been gone the whole show. You know, missed out on some good conversation here. Um, but Star Wars team leader says he still gives off the Sith vibe when he puts on the hood and jumps on that speeder. He does kind of give you like that Darth Maul vibe, especially because I mean when he threw and then just the robe and cloak and stuff he was wearing in the end of 11 when he was giving that speech. That was kind of looked a lot like a Sith robe. Hey, you never know, but I just don't see why a Sith would be out here. If a Sith was trying to overtake Palpatine or overtake the Empire, it would be so he could replace Palpatine.
I mean, and in that fact, why not act like Palpatine?
Yeah, and then you would have to be cunning enough to, and you would have to be cunning enough to, you know, to be. I guess you would. I mean, that would take a lot of fucking cunning and a lot of just that character to say, okay, I gotta get somebody that can beat the Empire, so let me create a rebellion against the Empire, make it think it's for good, and then they can conquer the Empire, and then I can take over as the new leader of this new Empire, or take over as the leader of the Empire if I can get somebody to kill Palpatine.
See,
I
you
mean, it's
got this
possible.
all planned out, Darth Sway.
Well, I mean, it's just a possible thing that could happen. You know, how
Yeah.
many people Palpatine made everybody seem like he cared. I care about the Republic, and then
Yeah.
the whole time he was an evil Sith Lord, he wanted to kill everybody and just turn everybody into slaves. But at the same time, that's something. I mean, Sith would think alike, and he's thinking, "Oh, I got to make everybody think that I care about them and I'm a rebel and you know I want to overthrow the empire for the good of the galaxy and all this stuff. And at the same time, his whole purpose is. But then you just think, well, I mean, and that would kind of suck. Now, if Tony wrote the last three, and we knew that the last three movies, and we knew that Luthen was just a Sith Lord or something, that would be cool because then we would see what Luthen's backstory is before he came into the situation on that. Because I don't even think we see Luthen in Rogue One.
No, no.
Yeah, we
That
don't
kind of
see him
makes
in
you
Rogue
wonder
One,
where we're
so
gonna see Luthen at the next time after all of this.
yeah, I don't think so. You have to assume that he dies sometime in season two. So
Probably. He seems
because we
like too
don't
big
see
of a
him in
character
anything
not to be
else,
mentioned.
I don't remember. Which is it's kind of hard to use books as a reference when a lot of the books in the time period that had to do with after Empire Strike Back are all Legends books, so they you can't really go off of them. And but I still don't remember anything as a reflection of hearing about Luthen before this show. So I don't know. I'd have to go back and do a little bit more research on his character to see like get some more of his backstory, but I don't think there is anything because his backstory is what we know of on this show. And right now, all we know that he's a shopkeeper that's helping to start the rebellion. I mean, we don't know too much about his character. So, which it could be a thing. That could be evidence right there that he's a Sith because we don't know anything about him. I mean, they didn't know anything about Palpatine until he came on the scene as a senator, and then the next thing you know, he was the emperor, and killing everybody, and
Yeah,
enslaving the galaxy. So, because only other time you hear anything about Palpatine is in Lucino's book, Plagueis. So that's the only time you heard about Palpatine. But that book was written after the original trilogy. Well, I mean everything was written after the original trilogy, but we did that was the only other time that his backstory came up, and only thing that we learned is he doesn't really follow the rule of two too much, and he doesn't do the old let's fight it out and see who's really the best Sith, because he just basically got Plagueis drunken and waited for him to pass out and killed him in his
true.
sleep. That's that's like
Cynical, man.
well, it's completely against the rule of two. The rule of two
Yeah,
is the whole point is the apprentice becomes stronger than the master, and then he overthrows the master and becomes the master. So the strongest Sith is always prevailing.
well,
And
Nike, that was a lot of his thing, though. Like, I always found it that it was more with Palpatine, it was power of the mind rather than power of the sword.
well, that's one
And
of the
that was
things.
the whole point that was going to bring them to power.
But it was always the way that Bane explained it was that you had to be a better Sith and cunning,
Yeah,
and you had to be a thinker. You couldn't be somebody that just reacted and did stuff because they had to stay hidden for all the years until the time was right. Palpatine kind of did but at the same time, Bane, you had to be more powerful. It was about being powerful. So each Sith taught their apprentice everything that they knew, and then when they felt that they were powerful enough to conquer the other one, you had to beat them in force ability. Not you had to be better at using the force. So the dark side just keeps growing stronger and stronger and stronger from master to apprentice. And then Palpatine kind of didn't do that, which I kind of agree with Palpatine because Plagueis was pretty damn dope. You know what I'm saying? So, and that dude was old as shit. So it's kind of one of those things that uh the that Palpatine just kind of bitched out. He did use cunning, he did use wisdom, he did use like the being a Sith what Bane taught about being a Sith, but you were supposed to battle it out, and whoever had the strongest ability in the Force would win, and that would
Yeah.
become the master. And he didn't do that. He got him drunk because he hadn't slept in 40 years or whatever it was.
Yeah.
He got him drunk, and then as soon as he passed out, he killed him, which is kind of a bitch move. How you gonna kill your master in his sleep? But hey, but it kind of the car, and that's once again like you even see karma in Star Wars writings, because you see the karma of you do evil shit happens to you. And his whole thing was, which Palpatine, without Plagueis, Palpatine could have never became emperor or even a senator, because the funding came from Plagueis, because Plagueis was part of the banking clan. He was a muse, so he was his species is a species with the thing. He was part of the bank clan, so
Yeah.
he's the one who funded everything that had to do with Palpatine becoming a senator and getting all the way up to the point where he got to be where he was at. He funded all that shit.
Oh, I never thought about it like that.
Well, you gotta think, every Sith
Yeah.
master, when they get done and the apprentice takes over, they take over everything, the money. So Bane had money. If you
Yeah.
go back to the Bane book, Bane had that house on Aparia or whatever, whichever planet it was. He had that dope ass house. He had money stacked up. He had this information, like, funnels coming in from all over the galaxy. He was setting up all kind of stuff in the back, and then every single. So then when what's her name? Freaking
Oh,
his apprentice. When she beat Bane, and then Cognis became her apprentice, and then from down on they just keep generating wealth. So by the time it got to the point where Plagueis was, they all the Sith were all the Sith master was already one of the richest people that there was. He takes over. He's part of the Bacon clan, so a lot of this stuff that had to do with the Empire becoming the Empire was funded by the Sith. And Plagueis had got everything set up all the way to the point is, and he already had Palpatine as a senator. So for Naboo, so he already had him in a place. He had everything set up for him to take over, and Palpatine just killed him in his sleep and did it himself. Because you got to understand how much, not only does Palpatine have all the Republic money, all the money that they have accumulated since Bane. All that
yeah.
money. They just been accumulating money and putting,
Just playing it out like the Huts and just taking money
yeah, they
after
just,
money and just accumulating over the hundreds
and
of
who
years.
knows, what Seth Master did what, and who he might have been. Shit, there might have been a Sith Master Hut at one time, for all we know. You know what I'm saying? We don't know, because there's parts of the timeline from Bane all the way to Plagueis that is missing. If you go look on like StarWars.com, or not, I don't think it's StarWars.com, but if you go look at like canon timeline of Sith Lords, there's missing people because they don't know who came. They just this person will pop up, and there's this missing timeline. They're not all labeled all the way
Yeah.
out, so we don't know who was the Sith Lord in between this person and this person. We just know this person was a Sith Lord, and then this person came up. We knew that they were the apprentice because now they're the new Sith Master. So, and I think it only happens like once or twice. So it's kind of strange on how it will happen, or how it could happen. Xana, yeah, that's it. It's Xana. And Clint, you on top of it tonight. Nah, I don't think that was Luthen. Oh, what the hell is his name? He was the So J Dog said, didn't Luthen order Andor to kill Jin's father? That I don't think that was Luthen. I think that was Captain or General oh shit. I just talked about it on actually it's in the Star Wars Impossible quiz. It was one of the questions. That's who it was. He was the ground and fleet officer or general for Hoth and that sector. But I think he was something else. That he was captain something at that time. He wasn't a general. It wasn't Luthen.
Yeah. No.
I don't remember
I
what his
didn't think
name
it
is.
was.
Let me see. That's right. Uh, where's it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? Carl Reekin. General Carlist Reekin. Carlist Reekin. I think that's the dude that told Andor to shoot. At that point, he was a general on Hoth, so I think at that point he wasn't the he wasn't a general. Yeah, I think he was like the captain of or something like that. Which I could be wrong. It couldn't even be him. I mean, it might have been because do we hear his name said?
Uh,
Let's look it up. Who ordered Galen? What was it? Orso. Let's see. I want to know who ordered. Galen Orso, Rogue One movie, Galen Orso, father, okay. Why are they not pulling it up? Cassian Andor. Okay, so the person was
there we go.
General Davin. Although General Davin had told Jen Orso that the mission was to extract her father from the clutches of the Empire, the rebel coup left Jeddah gave Andor. Yeah, so it was General Dravin is who told him. It wasn't Lucien. Like I have a feeling Lucien's gonna get killed midway through season 2. That's just, I
Mm,
mean, I don't know for a fact, but I have a
maybe.
feeling. Because we don't see him in Rogue One, so they got to justify him not being part of Rogue One. Like, because we don't see
Well,
him in Rogue One.
I can totally see him turning out to be in the finale of season 2, maybe not midway.
You think he'll make it all the way to the end before they kill him off? Like, that'll be the end. They kill
Well,
him
he's
off.
becoming such an established character that, like, I don't think they would just kill him off right in the middle. Of course, it is Disney.
I know somebody else. I seen somebody ask this. So I guess he is in there. It says we see him a brief glimpse of his disreputable activa in the first episode. Oh, that's it. That don't have anything to do with it. Yeah, he's not in Rogue One.
Maybe J Dog. I kind of see where you're coming from with that, though.
Well, you see that I mean, you have in any war, you have people that do certain shit to win that war. I mean, come on. you look at like some of the atrocities done in just the wars here on this planet. You know,
Yeah.
like during World War II, you had you had war crimes that were just on both sides that were just atrocious. You had the Germans; they were just killing, bombing. They were bombing populated areas. With civilian populations. You're not supposed to do that in a war. That's a war crime. And everybody signed the act back in after World War One that you couldn't do that shit. Then Germany did it. Then they just massacred the Jews. Then you had the Japanese. They were raping women and just doing shit that you're not supposed to do no more. They were eating people. They were eating the dead soldiers that they killed. They were massacring whole towns. And then even America, when you get into America, come on, we dropped the atom bomb on two of them on Japan. Like we just killed them, and that wasn't even the two worst things. When we bombed Tokyo with the fire bombs and it burnt all of Tokyo down, I think that killed more people than both of the atom bombs that we dropped. The atom bombs were just kind of like the last straw. We need to end this war now type shit. And then, and shit, Russians are doing bad shit right now. I mean, they're bombing shit that has to do with that are civilian populations. So in war, I think Luthen and these different generals, they know there's just people that you just know you have to do bad shit to win a war. It's a war. We're not talking about, okay, I won't kill you on Sunday because it's the God's day type shit, that some, people did in the past, like during the Civil War, they used to take off Sundays. They didn't do war on Sundays. Like certain generals wouldn't fight each other on a Sunday because it went against their religious purposes. But then you had other people, okay, we won't fight on Sunday, and then attack them when they were asleep or something, on a Sunday. You just got to do bad shit to win wars. War is just horrific no matter how you look at it. And I think Luthen and them know that. They're just looking at it as, this is some bad shit. The Empire's fucked up. We have to act like the Empire if we want to conquer the Empire. We can't be goody and we're not gonna do none of this bad stuff if we're gonna beat them. So, and I think that's really where they're at. They're really in a position where they just know they got to do bad shit. People got to die. Bad shit's gonna have to happen. People gonna have to get sacrificed. That's the way you win wars. So, I mean, it's just the way that it is. I wish there was, I wish I could sit back and say this for any of the wars that we're going to be in for the rest of the time and whatever happens in Star Wars, but we know that the Empire don't give a shit. They're going to wipe you out regardless. They were shooting unarmed people in this episode. You know what I'm saying? Like, they literally just shot unarmed people. He just said, open fire, and none of them people had guns. They didn't even have no blasters. One kid threw a bomb. You know what I'm saying? Blew some shit up, and they just massacred most of Ferrix. So when you look at that, you have to think like them. You're not going to beat somebody that just don't give a shit if you care. You know what I'm saying? If you play by the rules and you're playing against somebody that's not playing by the rules, you're going to lose. And that's the way it is. And at this point, there is no rules when it comes to the Empire. The Empire makes the rules. You see, Palpatine don't give a shit. Slavery was supposed to be eradicated, and it will only happen in things that were like outside of the control of the Republic and the Outer Rim and shit like that. During Rebels and the Clone Wars and things like that. The Republic abolished slavery. And then what the hell does Palpatine do? As soon as he creates the Empire, they enslave the Wookiees. They enslaved the Twi'leks. Shit, they were starting to enslave the Twi'leks before, it was even done. I mean, well, I don't know the exact timeline, but I know it was like just right after the fact of shit. We seen it in Rebels. We seen Wookiee being enslaved and Twi'leks being enslaved in Rebels. We see it in the Bad Batch. You know what was going on within these what the Empire was doing, and slavery was abolished by the Republic. Unless you was just on the outer rim somewhere, that's the only place slavery was happening. It wasn't happening in the mid rim or the inner rim. So, you know, how you gonna be somebody that makes the rules up as they go along? Whatever they want to do, that's what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Clay, if you want to get in touch with me, you can either email me at sway.audio at gmail.com, or you can go on the website and just leave if you go to the contact page on the website, you can fill out one of the things and just do it that way. Either way. swaa.audio@gmail.com. Or any of the social medias. Well, I'm not gonna lie, I barely ever look at the Facebook on Lightsaber Radio or the Sway shit, or I just don't ever. I don't know. I don't like Facebook. Facebook used to be cool. Now it's like MySpace. It's like there's so much better shit out there than fucking Facebook. Facebook is annoying, but I think that when it comes down to it, and I think Luthen knows that he has no choice but to break the rules in order to win. I mean, he said that. He was like, I gave up everything, and if I have to sacrifice somebody, if I have to do something in order to get past to win, I'm do whatever it takes for me to have to win, for us to win. I mean, he says that. So we know that he's willing to sacrifice people. He's willing. He told Saul that. Saul was like, you know, what would you have done to me? And Luthen just looks at him like, dude, you know me. You know my goddamn face. This other dude don't even know what my face is. And you see I'm ready to sacrifice his ass. I'll kill you my damn self. And he was about to do it to Andor today. That was like one of the things that a lot of people missed about the episode, because I seen some people talking about it on Instagram. They was chatting back and forth on one of the posts on Instagram, and they had missed like the whole point that Luthen and them was going to kill Andor. They was there to kill him, to keep him from being able to tell Luthen to be able to give the Empire any information about Luthen. He was there to kill him. You know, and a lot of people, they was talking about like this other shit. I'm like, what the hell are y'all talking about? Like, what does that have to do with like the basis of the episode was win at all costs. That's basically what it was, win at all costs. Luthen was going to kill Andor. If the Empire would have caught Andor, Luthen would have sniped his ass out. They wasn't going there. I mean, and they say it multiple times. And then Andor at the end of the episode, he said, you came here to kill me. And then that's when Luthen picks up the gun, and then, you know, Andor's like, or take me in. You know what I'm saying? Let me join the rebellion. Star Wars says, think about it. Luthen's code name is Axis by the Imps. And we know that Star Wars likes to copy your wars, so he could be a Sith playing his own game. I don't think they would have called him Axis if he's good. I mean, it's possible. But also, Axis can be, you know what I'm saying, the Empire looks at theirself and their actions as it's good by what they're looking at. Palpatine knows it's not good. Palpatine knows it's a bunch of Sith shit. But they don't look at. They look at like serving the Empire as being good. They're controlling the galaxy in order to have peace. But it's not really peace. They're not in peace. They're not safe. They're not secure. You know what I'm saying? Now they're slaves and they're controlled. And so, but at the same time, you know, fuck, Luthen is a motherfucker. We know he's not a good guy. I mean, he's a good guy on because he's fighting against the Empire, but he's that good guy that's going to go whatever the distance is to win. There isn't no rules. Yeah, but we don't know if they're. I mean, axes can be used in several different things. So Star Wars team leader said yes, but the Japanese didn't call the others the axis, and they thought that they were good. So I mean, but that's the Japanese. I mean, for shit, axis just could be a code name for that the Empire is using because they don't know his name is Luthen. They don't know who he is yet. They
Well,
just
and
kind of
it's like Fulcrum. Like it could be just a generated code name for
yeah.
Luthen, and then you can tell that like obviously they like to have their patterns in the same way because it's the Empire. So it's like Axis being the first focal point in a math equation, and then turning around and having Fulcrum, and so on and so forth later on through the Rebels and A New Hope and the original trilogy and stuff like that.
And you got to also understand, the Rebels was written by John, which is into Japanese. This is written by Tony. You know what I'm saying? So, or whoever the
Yeah,
writers was on the Andor series, but I'm pretty sure Tony had a lot to do with a lot of the writing.
yeah.
So, I mean, he might not be in the Japanese, stuff. We know that Dave is just because he follows George Lucas. I mean, like he gets a lot of his stuff from Japanese. I mean, shit, George Lucas is like his freaking inspiration for everything. So, because if you look at the end of these episodes and the end of like Kenobi, Book of Boba Fett, they all say what created um, off of characters by George Lucas. It doesn't say that at the end of Andor because he technically none of these characters were created by, except for like maybe Palpatine, some stormtroopers or whatever, weren't created by George Lucas because Rogue One wasn't created under the Star Wars banner or under the when George had the the company still. So I don't know. It's just that it could go a lot of different ways. I mean, it could be perceived a lot of different ways. That's what makes Star Wars so much fun because we can theorize about all this different shit and come up with different theories on what we think is going to happen or what is happening or who these people are. But we know that Luthen wasn't in Rogue One, so at some point he
Yeah.
has to get killed. So if he was a Jedi or a Sith, I don't see him getting killed because to me it'd be like he gets shot by a sniper or he's not gonna, or he goes out because there's 50 stormtroopers in front of him, or something like that. So it could be,
I feel like it's Boba.
I
Boba
don't
takes
think
him
Boba.
out.
I mean, it's
Well, either
possible.
that or Bosk. I mean, there's so many other assassins that the
Empire
Empire
owns.
used through all those years.
I mean, shit. In all reality, it could be Boba. It could be
Chrysanthemum.
Cad Bane. It could be, you know, it could be a lot of different people.
Mm-hmm.
Or it could be, a sniper, or it could be. But I think if he had force ability, if he was a Sith or a Jedi, that
He'd still be alive at least,
well,
or
even if
survive.
he wasn't alive, I mean, he might not get killed. He might be a Jedi. What if he was a Jedi and they figured it out that he was a Jedi? So now the Empire's coming after him. He has to go into hiding.
I mean,
That's
I
a
thought about
possibility
that
of something
too.
that could happen. But I don't know. Like, there's too many different variations of the way things go. We just know that he's not in Rogue One, which is, I mean, perfectly because Rogue One was written before it, and if they needed to bring in a character to play Luthen to be this character, we might not see him. But then at some point, you think he has to be able to leave or get killed or something to explain why he wasn't in Rogue One. And I think Tony and them is smart enough to know, okay, we got to create this dude, we got to get him going, get him training Andor, and then we got to take him out somehow. Either got to kill him or we either got to kill him or we got to send him on. We got to send him out the picture. Some way he has to be gone. that will explain why he's not in why he's not, because especially with him being such a main character in the starting of the rebellion in Rogue One, we know we would see him. I mean, it could even
Yeah.
be a simple point that he joins up with Saul, because after Mothma comes in and takes over the rebellion, and her, you know, not wanting to do the things that he does, as we see, she was like appalled that they robbed Aldani. Um, that, you know what I'm saying, maybe they have a conflict of interest and he leaves. But we just know that he's not in Rogue One, and I'm pretty sure that Tony and them is smart enough to explain why he's not in like the rebels then. So, and me personally, I don't think that he's just gonna up and leave. He either has to die, or he might be a Jedi and he has to go on the run. You know, or like I said, he could join up with Saul, and or even Saul kills him like you bastard, or they shit. Maybe the rebellion puts his ass out on the line like they're gonna do Kreegyr or whatever, however you say his damn name. Um, maybe that's, you know, maybe they put
No,
his
you
ass
said it
out
right.
there and he gets killed. That's another thing that I was kind of disappointed about with the episode. They didn't show us that. Like, how you gonna talk about it for 2 episodes and then not let it happen? Like, why? Who do you mean? It's the season finale. I want to see this dude and the other 40 people get killed. You know what I'm saying? You've been talking about it since episode 10, and then y'all not gonna let that happen. That's kind of, that sucks. Like, I wanted to see that before the end of the season. I gotta wait 2 years to watch this dude get killed. Him and his 40 guys get killed. Like, or what happens with that whole scenario? By the time I'd have been forgot about that shit, I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch all of Andor so I could watch season 2, so I could just remember what the hell happened in Andor. Because literally, oh, that's another thing we were gonna look up. Keep everybody occupied for a second, Lenny, while I look this up. When does
So, team leader, that was super funny. He was saying, or it could be creepy stalker boy kills him by accident trying to get Andor. Like I could just see Cyril walking towards him with the gun pointed and then tripping over some wire cord on the ground and just accidentally shooting the guy behind Andor, which is Luthen. That would be hilarious. He's still alive. We all know it. Yeah, I mean, I thought about that too. He could be in hiding, Clint. I have no idea if that would be a good enough story for them to follow. But I really do hope that they do something sort of more like that. I would hate to see Luthen get killed off. I mean, I could also see him going up in a blaze of glory.
that's how I think it's
Like,
gonna go.
yeah, J Dog says he probably dies saving others, to be honest. Like needing to sacrifice himself for everyone type of scenario. And then Clint comes back with Sith Lord hiding in the shadows, which would be a very interesting story to come off of. Like maybe like an Acolyte second edition or something like that after they do this Acolyte one that they're doing now.
That's another thing I can't wait. I want to see that acolyte.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm seeing a bunch of different stuff. This one says fall of 2024. This one says fall of 2023. And it, let me see. This one says fall of 2023. This one says fall of 2024. This one says summer of 2024. Don't nobody know when this shit is coming out. Not, and I don't see anything popping up on. Ain't nothing on like Disney itself. Let me see if I just put in.
I think Bad Batch season 2 is January,
Yeah, it's
right?
January.
Like
And
3rd.
then March. Isn't it March? March or April, I think, is when um
Mando.
shit Ahsoka comes out.
Oh, Ahsoka. Yeah, I'm kind of excited for that one.
I want to see
I'd
it
like
just
to
for the
see where
simple
his
fact
story
of
goes.
that Dave said he cried when he watched the episode that they did the screening
That they
for it.
filmed
He said
already.
he
Yeah.
cried. Like for
Wow.
Dave to say that he cried because he was that, um,
Well, he's emotionally invested in the character, building it from the ground up. But like, to imagine him just being at a point where he's like, I'm crying because this is just exactly what I wanted.
okay, so IMDb and StarWars.com do not have a year mark, so everybody else is just guessing. Nobody has any real information on when Andor. From what was said by Disney before was that it was the release date would be sometime in 2024.
They
So
will be releasing their holiday specials, Team Leader. That's what their plan is between now and January, is doing like the Lego Christmas and other things kind of like that. I'm pretty sure said they were in the works on a couple of shorts, and um, I think there's going to be another Baby Grogu short also.
yeah, it's the one
Can't
by
really remember.
Shiloh, whatever. But it's only supposed to be like
Yeah.
15 minutes long.
Yeah.
It's just going to be like a little dude by Shiloh or Shiloh or however you say that shit.
Hmm.
They're doing that Grogu short, and then there's speculation of the holiday special, which we didn't get the Halloween Lego special.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I had to go back and watch the one from last year. But my
now
son loves it, so we go back and watch that every year, anyways.
I don't know for a fact if they're going to be bringing Christmas. That there's there hasn't been anything officially announced that they're doing a Christmas thing, which we didn't find out what it was 2 weeks before. And I think it was a leak to let us know about the holiday special,
Yeah.
the little Christmas holiday Lego special, whatever. That only thing I don't like about the Lego specials is they try to push everything off. Like all the last the Halloween special and last year's Christmas
Christmas
one
special and the
was
summer vacation.
and the summer vacation one. They all three were based on sequel trilogy characters,
Hmm.
and which the Christmas special, we had Luke, we had Vader, we had because she was jumping through the little portal thing or whatever. It just I wish they would get to more like some of the characters that we're dealing with now, like the Bad Batch or Andor or Obi-Wan Kenobi or Boba Fett. Something that's more generally designed to their characters because that's the characters that we're seeing right now. We're not seeing the sequel trilogy characters. We haven't seen them in 10 years. So why are we seeing them now? It's just it.
I
I
feel
just
like it's
don't get
them.
why they do that. But I
I feel
have
like
that
it's them. I'll just
and that all is
wait a minute.
based on I'm pretty sure there's shit that comes out because not everything is the Lego stuff is not Disney present. Lego makes that shit. Lego movies, the same
Yeah.
company that makes Lego movies make that and then they get the write off and Disney signs off on it and then they release it on Disney Plus. Um that would be cool, a clone Christmas.
Yeah,
That's
right. I could see it as a bunch of different shorts of
a
just
good
like
idea.
a couple of
You
different
should pitch that to
squads.
Lucasfilms.
One of them
Um
being like a Three Stooges play.
but that's what I'm hoping. Hopefully we get something. Hopefully they'll come out with at
Yeah.
least the Christmas special. 'Cause I think it's January 18th.
J Dog, the Baby Grogu short was it was decent. I mean, it's not anything spectacular and it's really geared towards like younger children, toddlers kind of thing.
January
Um,
4th is when the
yeah.
Bad Batch starts. So we really don't have that much time. We got a week left
Yeah.
in November, then we got all of December, and then January 4th is when they come out with the Bad Batch. January 4th is that a Wednesday or are they gonna bring it out on keep it on Friday like it was?
Yeah, I kind of wonder. Or if they might move it to Sunday.
Oh, I'm going the wrong direction here. January nope, it's a Wednesday.
Mm,
So they're I don't know why they're pushing all the Star Wars stuff for Wednesdays. Like, I wonder if they're gonna do the freaking the Mandalorian. No, wait a minute. Does Mandalorian? I think it goes Bad Batch to Mandalorian then Ahsoka.
Yeah, they're lining it up. They definitely are. I mean, I can only imagine that their goal would be to have a different Star Wars episode of something every single day of the week.
Ahsoka really, and there's not all you got is Ahsoka series release date, Screen Rant. It just says 2023. Everybody just says 2023. Everything release date is 2023. So I'm pretty sure it's Mandalorian because I know one was the release date was already set. So I think it comes out Bad Batch then the Mandalorian because the Mandalorian is coming out in like the summertime.
Yeah.
I think.
I thought Mando's
When
was
does Mandalorian season 3
Thursdays.
starts? Season 3 will premiere on Disney Plus February of 2023. What? Why would they like Bad Batch is still gonna be on in February? Why would they bring out Mandalorian at the same time we got the Bad Batch? It says February 2023 on Wikipedia and Hollywood Life. Let's see if we can get an actual date here. CNET, February 2023. This is, that's not it, season 23. It just says February of 2023. I hope that's wrong. Because you're still gonna have you're still gonna have Bad Batch is gonna be on. Because if it comes out in January, what Bad Batch is like 15 episodes, 16 episodes in the season of the Bad Batch. So say if they just do 15, that's gonna take it into March. Why would you have Bad Batch on at the same time that you got the Mandalorian on? You're gonna take away from your views. Well, I guess if you have it on 2 days, you know, you got Bad Batch on Wednesday and then Mandalorian, because Mandalorian is probably gonna be a Friday, because the first 2 seasons were on Fridays. I don't see them changing that. Yeah, I agree with you. February is not November.
Yes.
Yeah, Mando will probably
Thanks,
come on
J-Dog.
Friday. They don't have the actual date, so I can't tell you an actual date. The only thing that they have actually released, it just says February. Everybody says it's coming out on February, including Wikipedia and Wikipedia. They both say it's coming out in February. But there's nothing on here that says the actual date that it's coming out. It just says February. Hollywood Life says February 2023. And that we all know that just because it was announced on at celebrations on May 26th. So we know it's coming out in February. They just don't know when. Which is it's still that you gotta think about it. Well, I mean, I guess that's it ended last. That's still freaking damn near 2 years. Not really, because let's see, it ended what 2021 with season 2. And it started so it ended in probably what November. Let's see, how many episodes was it in season 2? I don't remember, but but it started in September. So you got September, October. So it probably ended in November, December. Then you have and then it goes all the way till February of next year. So it's year and some months. It's just still too long. Like it's too long, man. You're supposed to come out with a new damn season like 6 months later. If the farthest point is a year, you know, shit comes out, all the new episodes of a TV show comes out in the summertime. The next summer, you should be watching the season 2. Shouldn't be waiting no damn year and some months like that. That's too damn long, man. I done forgot half the shit, and I got to go back and watch it twice so I can remember everything. Which I don't have a problem doing that because I'll watch the shit anyway. But
Right.
I'm gonna watch it as soon as I know that the other one is coming out. Like I'm about to start on Bad Batch here right here pretty soon because I'm about to watch all the episodes of season 1 of the Bad
Dude,
Batch.
I literally just went through and watched the whole thing with Bad Batch all over again because I was too excited. And I am extremely excited to go back and watch all of Andor all over again because most of the time I had to play it at work and glance at it out of the corner of my eye while I'm cooking food for these kiddos.
Well, I'm gonna watch
And
it all just so I don't have to. You can just skip through everything real quick and get right to
yeah,
the episodes. You get a better feel when you can go episode to
mm-hmm,
episode, so you don't have that gap in between, and you
exactly.
can watch everything concurrent. I'm like, if it didn't suck because you have to wait so long
Yeah,
before another episode of something comes out. If you didn't have to wait so long for that to happen, I would have them both just drop the whole damn season on everything. So I can just binge watch that shit all at one time. Because it's better when you can binge watch it.
exactly.
It sucks though when you do get a binge watch something because you don't get that anticipation for the next episode to come out. That's where the drawback is at because that week anticipation for that next episode, you're just excited for that next week. And now it sucks because now we got to wait all the way till freaking February to get some more Star Wars, which is kind of,
Yeah,
it sucks. And then but it's really sucks that we got to wait because we don't know when it's coming out. If it comes out 2 years from now, it's gonna suck. Like, dude, really, you ain't gonna bring the shit out till what, August? What the hell is wrong with y'all? 2024. That's 2 damn years. But we don't know when they're gonna come out, and I don't think that they know because
no,
if it was me, I would bring it out next year. But then at the same time, I'm on the fence about it because I want to see season 2. I want to see what happens. But at the same time, we got to remember we're only getting 2 seasons of Andor. That's it. That is done after that. No more Andor, which sucks
yeah,
because Andor is a good ass show. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, dude, yeah, I really want to see what's going to happen in part 2, and I need them to bring it out as fast as possible. But at the same time, once it's done and it's done, and it's like, so then I kind of don't want to see it. I kind of want it to be drawn out a little bit and put out there so I don't have to be. I don't want it to be done. I wish they would have done it better and did it over like a 5 year period, so we could have had like 4 or 5 seasons. But I
yeah,
don't know why they started at this timeline. I don't know what Tony and them thought process and Kathleen Kennedy's when they were sitting down doing all this and said, all right, we're gonna run it for 2 seasons. We're gonna do this. They had a idea about it because it just sucks now. Because we know he dies in Rogue One, so it's into season 2 done. Start Rogue One, he dies. Which I hope that they see how well Tony did this, and they let Tony do, uh, and they let Tony do it for season, or they let him do another Star Wars project. Give him a movie, give him something. The only thing that I suggest is just you gotta probably put it in the contract. You gotta use more Star Wars shit. You can't just make a series about whatever you want to make it about. It gotta be some Star Wars shit. Which he didn't do bad with Rogue One. So Rogue One was shit. It's one of the best Star Wars movies that there is.
definitely.
So it's definitely in my top 5 because Revenge of the Sith is my favorite.
Yeah, dude, I watched Revenge of the Sith so many times I could probably speak it word for word.
I know I can. Well, I probably could have an MS suck, so my memory isn't as good as it used to be. But I know at one point in time I could have told you every word. I probably watched it 50 times in a row. I think my kids was like, Dad, I don't want to watch this no more. And when kids, they just watch shit over and over again most of their life. So
J Dog, I enjoyed watching Clone Wars on Friday after a long week. So the cool part with me was when I worked at a bigger resort here in town, and there was a few guys, a few of us that actually liked watching Star Wars a lot, and we would talk about it like a water cooler kind of thing every end of the week. And my work week started on Fridays, so I'd go in on Thursday and I'd watch Mando, and then on Friday we'd talk about Mando, and then we'd talk about what we would theorize that was going to happen in Clone Wars. So it was really fun to go back and do that a long time ago.
Yeah, it was yeah, Mando was the shit. I think that was the most anticipated. Well, shit, that shit broke the internet
Oh yeah.
when they dropped Mando the first day.
Oh yeah.
Like that first episode of Mando was like one of the best episodes of any Star Wars TV show that they ever put out. They just walked in, and when he said, "I can bring you in warm, or I can bring you in cold,"
Right?
like,
Chills.
and to have George Lucas frozen in carbonite and just all the stuff that was happening in that episode, that shit. Like I couldn't watch that. I think I watched that shit at least 2 times a day, every day until the next week when the second episode came
Yeah,
out.
pretty much. I was
That shit
just
was
too
so good.
excited about it, and then seeing it was Luke at the end of season 1, right?
No, season
Or-
two.
It was season 2. So when I saw that, it was literally like frozen, everything tensed up, tears running down my face. Oh my God, I haven't seen this character like this since Return of the Jedi. I'm so excited for it.
I think we were far along on the Death Star putting the dish together because that's the first thing we see in Rogue One. So it means Andor's second part is going to be short. I don't think it's going to be short because it's still 12 episodes because they shot 24 episodes. Um, so it's going to be 12 episodes. I just think it's going to be in a short time period. It's going to happen really, really like what's happening from him starting in the rebellion is going to be like a month, 2 months that they're going to put all
Yeah.
12 episodes in. Which you got to think about this. I mean, this was only like a month or two. You know, he shot the 2 guards at the beginning of Andor, then or shot the 2 whatever they were, security officers or whatever they were. He shot them 2. He's on the run for a few days. You know, he goes to Aldani. That's like 3 or 4 days a week. Then he turns around. He gets his payoff. He leaves, goes to prison or goes to the jail. He's in there for a little over a month because it says 30 days on that second episode of the first episode that they really show him in jail, not the one that they electrocute him in when he's getting dropped off at the jail, but it's like the next episode. It starts off. It says 30 days, so or 1 month later. So it that's 30 days. Then maybe a week they escape. Then maybe a few days, and then we're already at the end of the season. So it was only like a 2 month period, and I think that the next season is going to be exactly the same because we know that they test the Death Star in Rogue One, so they're almost done building it. So they're about to be testing it pretty soon here. I mean, you see that the Death Star is all done. They're just putting a dish together now, the firing dish. So yeah, this it's not going to be too long. It's not going to be. It's going to be a short period of time. But to see that how fast that shit happened for Andor to get to the point where they're on Scarif, that's freaking fast. Like this dude literally like 6 months he went from being just some guy that accidentally shot 2 guards because of a fucked up situation to dying on a beach. You know what I'm saying? In like a 6 month period. If you really look at it the way that they're portraying it. Now it could be longer. I'm just speculating. I don't know for a fact because it could be longer. Um, I mean, it could take them a lot longer to finish building that part of the Death Star or getting it activated or whatever they got to do. Maybe they don't have all the kyber crystals yet, or whatever the situation may be. Because like when you go back to Legend, in the Legends books, they have to find a giant kyber crystal in order to blow to create the beam that it can blow up an entire planet. But then at the same time, the way they were kind of explaining it in Rogue One, it was just a lot of small kyber crystals all put together, like into like a chamber. The way they described it in Rogue One, that's why they took all the kyber crystals, because it took a lot to power it. So it just depends on how they portray it and how they push it out. It could stretch out a year, or it could be 2 months. You know, it we kind of have to wait and see what happens. And I think that's where the cliffhanger is at, because now I really want to know what happens in between now and fucking Rogue One. Like, dude, what the hell happened? Like, I still, like, even though Mothma's part is not very entertaining or whatever, I still want to know how, because we know that she leaves and the rebels have to get her away. We know that happened already. So some period in this time that has to happen for her to take over as the leader of the rebellion. So, and yeah, I get, yeah. Oh no, I can't remember. My brain ain't working. Yeah, that's also true. Star Wars team leader says means we don't get that much time with K2SO. I don't think we do. We we were talking about it earlier in the episode. We were talking about do about maybe BM2O or B2MO, however you say his damn name. That they kind of take his consciousness now, or his program out, and puts it inside of the K2SO droid, and that's how you get the Imperial droid. That's how you got K2SO. It was kind of like a mixture of the Imperial droid and
Yeah,
B2MSO's, like the
they had the
mixture
merger
of
of the
their two
programming.
things that made K2SO. Cause we see him when they drag B2MO away, he can't use his tracks no more because they had to drag him off. So it's like, does Cassian, is that how Cassian gets K2SO? He's like, dude, I gotta find a replacement. They get a hold of a Imperial droid and stick his brain in there, and that's how they were able. Because it would be kind of hard to like reprogram one of those droids. Them droids ain't no punks. You know, this is the Imperial droids that are meant to fuck you up. So I don't see how they could get how they could do without having like connect them to the B2MO, and B2MO get in this programming and be able to keep him from being, what I'm saying, this Imperial droid. And then if you kind of look at like K2SO is like, yeah, I'm an Imperial droid, kind of like, I don't really know what to say. And if you kind of think about the way B2MO, a lot of times he doesn't really know what to say, kind of just has that little bit of, like, not very confident, what I'm saying,
It's
in the things that
it's
he's
every
talking
time
about.
K2SO talks to Cassian, it's that same way that B2 Emo talks to him. It's
And
almost the
then,
exact same way.
so I could see, I, I think that may be one of the things that happened. See, that's what I'm saying. We don't know until they bring it out, because in Rogue One, what I'm saying, the way it's described is that they took all of the kyber crystals off of that planet because they needed a
Hmm.
lot to power it. That's the way it's described in Rogue One. So, like, did they get a big one, or did they have to use a bunch of little ones? Because the it's just, I would go more off of what Rogue One, because you think that they would follow that because it's already written, it's already out. So they kind of have to go that way. But we don't really know, and it might be something that they're trying to find, and that's the reason
Hmm.
it takes them so long to test the Death Star. But that's the only way I could see that that I can put in my head, or I can wrap my head around that it would take them to stretch out Andor season 2 for a long period of time, because that shit is almost done. We're looking at it, they're building that shit, and that shit is almost done. So right after they got it done, from the way the way it's shown on Rogue One, is they tested. So less, like, it takes them longer than what we're anticipating for them to get it done from what we've seen. If it takes longer than that, then it could stretch out the series or the season 2 for a longer period of time. But I mean, until we watch the next season, we're not gonna know. We don't know the exact timeline that they're gonna be doing. Clint says K2SO and B2EMEO, or however you say that shit, are one and the same. Another reason that I was thinking about it is because K2SO tells Jin that they have been together for a long time. Well, if we know, even if it's a year, we know right now, and the Death Star is almost built. That's not, even if they stretch it out a year, that's not a long time for them to be together. So it makes sense that B2EMO is K2SO. And then you got to think about it. B2MO, K2SO. You know what I'm saying? I have a feeling that they're gonna they mix the two droids together. Star Wars team leader says, "I tell you, when I showed the whole firing dish in front of the Death Star, reminds me of the book Dark Saber, when the Hutts made his own version of the Death Star that was just a firing array." No, this is the last time. So, like, I don't know exactly, but this is the way that is described in what Tony said. This is happening in a short time before Rogue One starts. It's not 5 years, not by what Tony said, because Tony said this is right before Rogue One. It starts at where Andor comes together. Let's look it up. Let's see what it says. But I'm thinking it's closer than that from what Tony said in his interviews.
Yeah, I thought I heard 5 years on that also, but I could be wrong too.
Let's look it up. I'm not sure what time period is Andor. It says 5 BBY, so that would be. It says Andor takes place 5 BBY, 5 years prior to the events of Rogue One and The New Hope. Season 2 will cover 4 years, so 4 to 1 BBY. Wow. They really gonna do 4 years and 12 episodes?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, they
They just
have like
rushed through
5
the
seasons they
episode
could
1.
do.
They rushed through. It's
Yeah.
only a couple months in episode 1. Really, somebody asked a question: is Andor set before or after the Battle of Yavin? You're not a true Star Wars fan. You're not a true Star Wars fan. What the hell? The battle? What the fuck? Jesus. Like, Rogue One is before the Battle of Yavin, so Andor has to be before that. Like, oh god, people ask over the weirdest questions. Let's see. So hopefully they are Clint. J Dog said, hopefully they are Clint. It would be a nice touch. So it is taking 4 years for them to finish that dish. That's what it says. That's what it says. I could have swore that in the interview that I heard with Tony, he said it was right before, but I guess right before is kind of like that's one of those terms that is right before. For shit, 5 years ago was right before now. You know,
You're
when
right.
you
Yeah.
as you're getting older, time goes by a lot faster.
Mm-hmm.
Because I just turned 45 on Monday, and I feel like I was just 40 like day before yesterday. Yep. So we definitely see the timeline is definitely there. So we will see the. I guess it's gonna. We got 12 episodes to go 4 years. So we're gonna see a whole lot in season 4. It's gonna be. Damn man, they're gonna have to make some long ass episodes. I hope these episodes are like 2 hours long. They're gonna have to do some long ass. How you gonna cover 4 years in 12, 30-minute long episodes?
Mm.
Jesus.
If they use time skips, I'm gonna be a little upset about that. I don't like them when they do the time skips and they're just like, oh yeah, well this
Oh
happened,
shit.
but now we're like 5 years later.
That was one of the questions in the Impossible quiz. What did it say at the very beginning of the first episode of Andor? What was the year? Because they did it backwards.
Mm-hmm.
That was on one of the Impossible quiz. I should have known that shit. It says 5B. It says BBY 5. That's what it says at the beginning of the episode. So it was backwards.
So when you were reading the confirmation for Andor, was it just confirmed 2 seasons so far, or did they
No,
say they
it's
were going to end it after
that's
two?
all that Tony already said that they're only recording 24 episodes, and then Kathleen Kennedy announced it um, before it was only going to be a 2 season thing, um, and then
Hmm.
Tony said that they're only doing 2 seasons, which they could definitely do more seasons if they're building up to that, because that's quick. That's very very fast that they're running through 4 years if it's doing 12 episodes. So they could actually do more. Maybe that's just what they said because Disney always saying some fucked up shit, tell you one thing and then do something totally different. Um, so I mean, they could, but from what Tony said in every interview he's talked in, it's 5 years. I mean, it's not 5 years, but it's only 24 episodes. And I've read every one of all the articles that has to do with his the interviews that he gave, um, because I was just like some of the things that he was doing was just it's just weird the way that he's doing them or the way that he's doing it because he's trying to steer away from Star Wars. Like his director is a super Star Wars fan, and he told him, "I need you not to be a Star Wars fan." Because I want everybody to focus on the story. I don't want a lot of droids. I don't want a lot of stormtroopers. I don't want a lot of Star Wars shit. I want everybody to focus on the story, which is not a was. And overall, it wasn't a bad thing. They threw in an alien
Mm-hmm.
here, stormtrooper here. Then they had one really good episode, which I still think 11 should have been. 11 should have been the end of this season. They should have ended it at 11. That was the
Yeah,
best episode. Star Wars
definitely.
team. It's definitely possible, Clint. Now, because I didn't think. Well, it says on the website for Andor. It says season 2 will cover a 4 year span. So from 4-1 BB to 4 from 4 years 4 BBY to 1 BBY, and then that's on one website. Another website says 5 BBY to 1 BBY. 2 seasons will cover 5 BBI to 1 BBY. Um, this one says it kicks off. The Clone Wars kicks off in 22 BBY. It runs through everything. Andor's at 5 BBY. 5 BBY to run, so 5 years before Rogue One, and runs right up to Rogue One and New Hope. Because Rogue One leads right into New Hope. Yeah, all these episodes, all these are saying the exact same thing. So season 2 will cover from 4 to 1 BBY. Hopefully they're longer episodes. That'll be dope. If they're all like an hour, hour and a half, 2 hour long episodes, that'll be cool as shit.
That'd be awesome.
Because that's just a lot of time period. And I know Tony said in every interview I wrote that it's only they only signed off for 2 seasons, from leading to the meeting Andor for the first time to Rogue One. So I know that they're only doing 2 seasons, unless they're just lying to us, and which is definitely something that Disney is really know well.
Yeah.
Misdirection, because they will lie to us and tell us one thing and then do something totally different. And which, like I thought before that they had already recorded all of them, and they just started recording the 2nd season of Andor, so they could definitely change their minds. I thought in one of the interviews that Tony said they had already shot both seasons, all 24 episodes they had already shot, so they were already done. I guess I just misheard him, because when I was reading through another article last week, it says that they had just started shooting Andor, season 2 was just they were just starting to shoot. So if they're just starting to shoot, they could definitely shrink up the timeline and then decide to do 3 and 4. I think, and it's definitely a possibility, because if they already have the scripts written, they can shoot it all, put it out, and they can change shit now, because the scripts are all written. I know for a fact the scripts were written. The scripts were written before they even signed off on doing the show itself. So the scripts were all written, but they could definitely go back in and change it now if they're just now starting shooting. Like, if you got writers writing on it as they're shooting the first, 4 episodes, they could write, change the last 4, shoot the first 8, change the last 4 in order to lead it up to a different time period, or however they do it.
Exactly.
They're going to have to split it up in some type of time period. That's the only way that they'll be able to do it. But either way it goes, I'm excited for it no matter how it happens. I don't care if they do it in 24 and 12 episodes, but I would definitely love to see more. They could do more. I mean, I can think of a whole bunch of
definitely.
Shit that happened within a 4-year period. But then if I knew that and it could be they were thinking too, because Disney like, well, shit, we didn't get that good of a turnaround on Kenobi. Book of Boba Fett didn't do as well as we thought it was going to do. Because that's like one of the reasons they got rid of Bob Chapek, because their streaming dropped so low. And they're losing so much money compared to overall. Which, shit, y'all own Hulu, you own ESPN, you own Discovery Channel, you own all that shit's on Disney Plus. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? How y'all lost money. Especially with all the Star Wars content. Even if motherfucker didn't like it, they was watching it. Because I wasn't the biggest fan of Boba Fett, but I watched every damn episode like I was going to church. So I don't know how they lost money, but I guess they lost a lot of freaking money, to the point that, you know what I'm saying, when they asked Bob what they should do, he wanted to fire people.
Yeah. Cut people loose for all that. Uh-oh. Oh, he legged out. I wonder what's going to happen.
And they were like, that's not, you don't.
Oh, there he is.
Stupid ass thing. I don't get this. I do not understand this shit for the life of me. I'm not hooked up to Wi-Fi. Like, I don't know why it keeps doing that shit. But yeah, so I mean, we have a lot of different potential things that could happen. So I don't know exactly what's gonna happen. I'm just happy that we're getting all the Star Wars we're getting. Star Wars team leader said we needed to get a Luthen spinoff. That would be dope. I would like to learn more about Luthen and his story. That would
Exactly.
definitely
I
be
could just
dope.
see it turning into a like James Bond sort of thing going on.
As long as they had Tony write it. I don't know. I just like
Yeah.
Tony's writing. Tony's writing is excellent. Like I wish he would have put more Star Wars shit in there, but I'm not mad that he did it the way that he did it.
No.
The only thing I'm mad is that they should have ended it at 11. They should have waited for this episode. Like 11 was like the perfect ending of the season. That shit, they
Right?
should have ended it right there.
And then
Um,
having this last episode would have been a good first episode for the second season because there would have been a bunch of action going into it and it would have followed the story from right at the cliffhanger.
well, and it would have left us at the cliffhanger. I mean, like
Mm-hmm.
today's episode, like only way it's a cliffhanger if you're not a Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
Or if this is your first experience at Star Wars. If you're a younger viewer, this is your first time you ever watched Star Wars because you're not
Later,
gonna
Clint.
know that
Happy
Andor
Thanksgiving.
dies in Rogue One. You don't know any of these things is gonna happen. So you're gonna be like, oh, does he shoot him? We know that he didn't shoot him, but somebody this is their first experience at Star Wars, they're not gonna know. They're gonna be like, oh shit, did Luthen shoot him or does he join the rebellion? They don't know. And especially because they don't know if a season two is coming out or who or what season two is going to be about. So they're going to be in a position of if you're just a newer viewer and you turn on Disney Plus, was like, oh, what is this Andor thing? And you start watching it, you know, you're not going to know. But that's a small majority of people, and I don't see why they later, Clint, man, happy Thanksgiving. Um, yeah, I don't see why they would target that small of an audience because like to you ask anybody, even if they don't like Star Wars, have you ever heard of Star Wars? They're gonna be like, yeah. You ever heard of Rogue One? Yeah. I mean, these is movies that are just these was huge blockbuster movies. I mean, people know about them,
I
but
got
they
a
might not know the
coworker that
details
had
of it.
no idea what Star Wars was the first time I ever asked her about it.
Like even my wife, shit, everybody. I don't know anybody that doesn't know about Star Wars. The problem that I have here, there just ain't no damn Star Wars fans here. Like there's like a handful in the entire city I live in of 150,000 people. There's like a small handful. Like what the
Yeah,
fuck?
it's the same here.
Like in Denver, when I lived in Denver, everybody knew about Star Wars. Everywhere you look, you see some Star Wars shit. It was Star Wars shit every damn where bumper stickers all over the place. There was so many Star Wars fans there. It was crazy. But here, they're just I don't know. They just don't. And I live in a college town. You think shit, every college kids, they be watching Mandalorian and all kind of shit, but I guess they're not. So, or they didn't like it, which they're crazy if they didn't like it. I don't know what's wrong with them. I ask people that when I hear people say I don't like Star Wars, I'm like, what's wrong with you? Like, who the hell says
Yeah,
they don't like Star Wars? Because most people be like, yeah, I like Star Wars. You don't hear very many people say I don't like Star Wars. Like, what? You don't like Star Wars? Like, when my wife
yeah, I
told me
think
she don't
the
like Star Wars, I
closest.
said, who are you? And how the hell did you marry me? Like, what the hell was it about me? Shit, as many times I watched it, I thought you liked it. You watched it all the time with me. She was like, I just watched it because you watched it. You didn't watch it. I didn't want to watch that shit. All right, guys, we've been on here for almost 3 hours.
Yep.
Um, we will see you guys on, like I said before, I don't know if we're going to do a Saturday afternoon show or a Sunday show because I have to work on Saturday. So, or if CJ and Garrison is just going to do the show by themselves. Um, I don't know exactly how they're going to do it. I haven't talked to them about it yet because I was going to talk to them today, but they didn't come on the show. So I wasn't able to talk to them. So I don't know what day we'll be coming on. So just I'll send out we'll put it out on the Instagram or whatever on what day we decide to do it. I'll set up a poll so it'll come out on Lightsaber Radio, and it'll come out on the Sway Instagram and TikTok and stuff like that. And then it'll also be on. I'll put a news post on the website. So whatever day we decide, I'll talk to him today or tomorrow, probably tomorrow, and find out what's going on. And we'll let you guys know. So we will see you guys on Saturday. Peace, and may the force be with you. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, I got to hit the damn button. Oh, not it. Oh, what the fuck? Where's the thing? Oh.
Thank you for tuning in to LSR. If you've enjoyed the show, consider subscribing so you can be notified when new episodes are released. If you would like to be a guest on the show or just want to give us some feedback, feel free to email us. You can also reach out to us on all major social media platforms. Lightsaber Radio is produced by Pickfilm Media and is a Swaycast original, starring Garrison Turcotte, CJ Elliott, and Kyle McDaniel. And don't forget to join us next time for more adventures in a galaxy far, far away.